Good afternoon, beautiful people. Good Sunday afternoon. Good Sunday afternoon, guys. If you don't mind, as we get in, tap the screen, share the live. Let's go ahead and get the likes up to 10,000 likes. Let's get the likes up to 10,000 likes. If we can knock the daily gift goal out a couple of times, it'll help push us out to the FYP. Also, send your daily heartbeat. It's only one coin. It'll help boost the live. I apologize about being late, guys. I woke up with a bit of a migraine, and I honestly didn't know if I was going to go live. But after just, hanging out, drinking more water, getting myself together, I'm here, and I'm ready to go. All right. Guys, again, send your daily heart. It's only one coin. It'll boost the live and push us out to the FYP. If you are a Trump supporter, get in the box. We are only looking for some debates. I'm going to keep resetting the daily gift goal to these little 1-cent gift goals. If we can knock them out a couple of times, it will boost the live. Also, I know we all share the live, but can we also repost? Apparently, the reposts really help out a lot. So if we could repost, that'll be uber helpful. Why is this not? There we go. All right, guys, let's get it going.
You stepped in the box, now you're in the ring. Ain't no hugs here, you better take your best swing. Mike Hot, who wanna step in the flame? This ain't a debate, this a mind game. Facts type lies, get left in shame. One wrong word, he slapped out your name. This ain't TikTok T, this a war zone talk. No script, no filter, no safe walk. Bring stats and get scrambled like a glitch. I got fire in my mouth like I came from the pit. Yeah, step in if you dare. Truth hit hard like a punch in the air. Ain't no rules, no plan, no script. One wrong move, get cooked real quick. No cap, no shield. Better know your stuff or you get revealed. Step in, don't you wanna? Sparring with Santana. I don't care what you claim or your background. Facts only, if not, get clapped down. Whether you're left or right or you don't even vote. If your logic is weak, I'll sink your boat.
Yep.
You talk slick, but you ain't got source.
Nope.
Just vibes, that ain't power, that's force. I'm the test, the trap, the trip, the call.
Hey.
You slip once, I'm snatching it all.
Let go.
Step in if you dare. You dare. Hit hard like a punch in the air. Punch in the air. Ain't no rules, no plan, no script. Yeah. One wrong move, get cooked real quick. No cap, no shield. Nope. Better know your stuff or you get revealed. Step in, don't you wanna? Sparring with Santana. Step in, yeah, you care. Hit hard like a punch in the air. Ain't no rules, no plan, no script. Yeah. One wrong move, get cooked real quick. No cap, no shield. Better know your stuff or you get revealed. Step in, don't you wanna? Sparring with Santana. Yeah, this ain't a safe place. This a flame space. Step in, don't you wanna? Sparring with Santana.
Come on. Bum, 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 bum. Guys, welcome in. This is Sparring with Santana. One-on-one debates with Trump supporters. If you're a Trump supporter, get in the box. If you are someone that supports Donald Timothy Trump, get in the box. We're only looking for some debates. If you are not a Trump supporter, please do not request up. We're not talking to friendlies. We are only looking for some debates. With that being said, if you're a friendly, tap the screen, share the live. I'm going to keep resetting the daily gift goal to these little 1-cent gift goals. It will help push us out to the FYP, guys. So I guess really quick, just to run through this, Trump supporters, I'm just trying to understand why you are good with Donald Trump dragging you into so many different wars as a president of quote unquote peace, right? A president of no new wars. He is actively and persistently and consistently putting the United States public in danger with his rhetoric and his actions. We can talk about the Venezuela situation, which has escalated. Apparently, they took a third oil tanker today. This morning, they took a third oil tanker. This thing is escalating even faster than one can imagine. Wait, let's see. Dora? Who's Dora? Is that the person I think is? I don't know. It's escalating quicker than we could expect. How much they pay you to sell out? I don't know. Come up here, Cypher Shell. I'm gonna go ahead and mute you. I'm gonna send you a request and to come up. Let's talk about it. Who paid me to sell out? Because the last time I checked, the actual sellouts were anyone that was willing to hand our country back over to someone who tried to overthrow democracy. The actual sellout are the party of violence, which is the right wing, and the actual sellouts are the people who keep kowtowing to Russia and for some reason thinking that, oh, they're vilified. The actual sellouts is anyone that supports Donald Trump. That's where the sellouts are. All right, Logan, are you a Trump supporter?
Yes.
You're a kid. So if you're a Trump supporter, get in the box. Again, we can talk about the situation with Venezuela. We can also talk about the actual health care issue, right? The Republican Party, which I don't understand how MAGA, just the sad part about the healthcare situation is they're literally actively harming themselves with that. Like, healthcare is something that should be a human right, but for some reason, not only do they think other people shouldn't have access to it, they think that they shouldn't have access. It's the weirdest thing. It's the weirdest thing. I had a guy yesterday, I said, hey, or the day before, I was like, hey, would you rather, because he was like, oh, I know people they're getting free healthcare, they don't work, and I pay for my healthcare and barely get good healthcare. And I said, well, question, would you rather everyone have free healthcare, or would you rather everyone pay for healthcare like you? And he never would say free healthcare. He just kept saying, well, I think we should all pay equal. We should all pay the same. So I don't understand how the right wing of the governmental system has somehow convinced these people that they don't deserve access to healthcare. But anyway, we'll talk about it. We can talk about failed immigration. For some reason, like, every single Trump supporter has been rah-rah, bully, thank you for the cake, about mass deportation. But when they come up and I bring up the point that I want to talk about, because I think the route that they're taking for their actual immigration policy is not only harmful to United States citizens, but it's harmful to everyone. And MAGA, they can't stand on it. They can't talk about it. They can't defend it. It is what it is. We know that MAGA and Trump supporters, you guys all care about the isms. Just flat out, point blank, period. You guys, you're hateful. You're hateful, and you hate people within the queer community. You hate Black people. You hate women. Hell, you hate kids. Right? Every single one of you, you claim to want to protect women and children, but you are actively harmful towards women and children. So we can talk about that. But last but not least, we can talk about Dozing Don. You said, what a joke. The joke is you being scared to come up, old dad. So I'm going to go ahead and mute you, and I'll send you a request. Come up here and tell me about how it's a joke. Come and tell me about it. And Mr. Whatever you said, so you like open borders, I'm going to mute you as well. How about you come up and we can talk about it with old dad here. Old dad, how are you?
I'm okay. How you doing?
Wonderful, wonderful. And I'm assuming you are a Trump supporter?
I voted for him. I don't always support him.
Okay. See, you know, that's the interesting new game that a lot of, you know, MAGA, you guys are playing. But let's be more specific just to make sure I know who I'm talking to.
Wait a minute,
Let's
hold on.
say,
How is that a game? Wait, don't just move on so fast. Why is that a
it's
game?
a game in the sense that for some reason you guys say, well, I voted for him, I don't support everything, not like pretending as if your vote didn't empower him to do everything, but now you're saying, oh, I don't support. That's fine. That's fine.
Well, I don't support any.
Sure,
I wouldn't support anybody unilaterally.
This is how we actually get to the crux of it. Knowing everything that you know today, Dad, and if the election were held today, knowing everything that you know, and your only two options were Kamala Harris or Donald Trump, and you had to pick one, who would you vote for?
Nah, I don't know. I still don't think I'd vote for Kamala.
But would you vote for Trump?
I have to admit that as far as inflation is concerned, with the new reports that have been out, that economically this is probably the better route.
It's not. Inflation.
Well, no, that's that. No, you can't say that. That is an opinion. You can't say that it's not. That's just your opinion.
Up.
No, it's not. Look at the report. The reports are out, bud.
Yeah,
You can't come up here and blow smoke up people's butts about that.
Hold on one second, because you know what? That's fine. We'll get right into that. But let me do this really quick. Quick introduction. Just want to let everybody know who I am and what this is, and then you and I will get right to it.
You don't think everybody knows?
Welcome to the main event. Let's get ready to rumble!
Y'all ready for this? Guys, welcome in. This is Sparring with Santana, one-on-one debate with Trump supporters. If you are a Trump supporter, get in the box. If you are someone that supports Donald Jimothy Trump, get in the box. We're only looking for some debates, guys. Please do not request up if you are not a Trump supporter. We're not talking to friendlies. We're only looking for some debates. If you're a friendly, tap the screen, share the live, do all the wonderful things to let the TikTok know we're in the building. If you're over on the YouTube, make sure you like that stream. All right. So, Dad, you said look at the actual reports and blah 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 blah. All right, cool. So there were some numbers that came out, and it said inflation slowed. Do you know what the numbers were?
No, we're now at like 2.5 or 2.9. If I remember right. 2.7, right in between.
2.7. Now, what was the number that was touted? Like it says it was 2.7, but 2.7 is what?
2.7 is what? What do you mean?
I'm sorry. It's two. They said 2.7, but do you know what they were talking about with 2.7? What have they deemed that the 2.7 was?
Oh, it's the overall. There's two different fucking numbers, but it's the overall.
Okay, I'll give it to you. Listen, so they were saying that the 2.7 increase was inflation, right?
Yeah, but there's two different types, but yeah.
Yeah, we're looking at the CPI versus inflation. That's where I was going.
Right.
So,
yeah.
I just since can't. It seems like you have a kind of understanding, I'll speed run it. They're focusing on the 2.7, which is the CPI, which is directly connected to the Fed rate cuts, but also it's directly connected to the fact that they have 42 days of missing data. Did you know that they didn't publish the actual data when it comes to the government shutdown that would have been included in the CPI and the inflation rate?
No, didn't know that.
Yep. So there's 2.7 that they're touting the actual inflation rate to be due to the CPI is a number that's kind of a misnomer. It's kind of a phantom. It's not necessarily real because of the actual missing data. And there's multiple market projections that show if the actual data is added, which, no one has the complete numbers, but just looking at trends and different information, the actual expected inflation rate right now would be 3.1%. But we'll never know because the data's missing, but the Trump administration is touting it as if inflation actually slowed?
Well, so far as it's been reported and as it's been charted, you could clearly see that even if it was an offset of a couple months difference, because you're talking about a couple months, right?
42 days, a month, a little over a month, and
Yeah.
let's say what,
Yeah,
a month
month,
and
right.
almost a month and a half, because
yeah, a month and a half about. Right. I just rounded up. But but the overall change to the value isn't going to be changed that dramatically. I mean, to 3.1, it could be, right? I'm not saying that that's not a possibility, but I'm saying it's not going to be super big as opposed to that. It's not going to be some overinflated number, and it's not going to be obviously anything. It won't be anything under that, too. Obviously,
but you have to think about like the trend we were looking at prior to the data stopped being collected. The last actual update on the inflation numbers that we have with all the actual reports came up to 3.01. So the point that I'm making is inflation has continued to tick up under the Trump administration, while multiple factors of the economy have been negative, right? Whether we talk about the increased job numbers lost. Did you know that since Donald Trump has gotten back in office, over 1 million American jobs have been lost?
Yeah, that happens. Our economy goes up and down. We lose jobs, we gain jobs, we lose jobs. It goes back and forth. It's a push-pull.
Yeah, but not that dramatic. I mean, prior to Donald Trump getting in office,
you don't think we've experienced that before in any other presidency?
I'm not saying that. I said,
well, we can't be so judgmental. We can't just blame somebody.
What did you hear me just say just now? Or did you jump in before I finish making my point?
Please continue.
Sure. I said, but it doesn't happen that often. We do understand that different indicators could affect whether there are jobs added or jobs removed. But prior to Donald Trump taking over, job creation was up and unemployment was down. Donald Trump's policies, whether we talk about his actual tariff policies, his attack on DEIA, all of those things have negatively impacted the economy, where the job market not only has cooled, but swung in the opposite direction versus where it was prior to him taking over. That's the point that I'm making.
Okay, well, I'd like to make a point to that. So you want to blame Donald Trump for automation? Because if you've paid attention, we have leaned heavily towards automation and robotics and AI. And so if you want to try to blame one man, that's fine. However, that's the direction the world has been moving. So you're going to see a shift. That's going to happen, unfortunately, and I don't like it. I don't think we should be replaced by robots and AI, but it's happening in real time. Okay, and that's the reality. Oh, it is. It is. You could look around. What do you mean it's not? Tell me how.
I'll tell you what. Sure,
how is automation not kicking in?
I got you. I can definitely explain to you. So it's twofold, right? Let me address the part that you aren't addressing first, and then the second part will be automation, right? The first part is Donald Trump was loud, proud, and adamant about implementing tariffs, right? That was his policy that he was going to attack once he got in office. And most Trump supporters didn't know what a tariff was, and they believed him when he said, oh, the other countries are going to pay the tariffs. Well, companies, they actually know what tariffs are. And so what they did was they preemptively stockpiled inventory. They reduced like Christmas bonuses last year. And then even more so, getting into Q1 of this year, they started laying off people to offset the additional cost that was being charged to them by the actual tariffs, right? So that caused an influx of people losing their jobs, companies actually slowing hiring practices, even reducing their workforce just due to the massive negative impacts of the Trump administration policies, right? And then after that, since most of them
can you prove that? I mean, I know it's nice to say, but can you bring up receipts where people say that they're where companies are saying we're laying off great amounts of people? Yes. But you don't have to get angry. I'm asking a question.
I'm just saying, listen, I can prove every single thing that I'm saying. Let me get through what I'm saying, and you tell me what you want me to prove, and I'll prove it all. But like, I don't say things just because, they're fun, right? I don't guess on things, and it's not, coming from my feelings.
Well, we're human beings, and we like to say things that we hear.
Sure. I mean, I guess you do, but I don't. Like, I don't say
you
things
do.
that I
You
can't
do.
prove.
You aren't 100% correct about everything. No human being on earth
I'm
is.
absolutely
And if
not
you believe that
100%
you
about
are,
everything.
then that's crazy.
I'm not 100% correct about everything, but I don't say things that I can't prove.
I mean,
I may misspeak on something and have
veterans
to
supposed
correct
to have
myself.
lost all their benefits by now, according to you guys? Because
Who
they
is
haven't.
you guys? Did I say that?
No, that's what you guys. Yes,
Who
earlier
is it?
this
Okay,
year, I
sure.
watched
Did
you.
I say
Earlier
that?
this year,
You watched me say it.
Earlier this year, I watched you say that veterans were going to lose their benefits because of Donald Trump.
You're fucking lying. I've never said that.
Nah, bro. Yes, you did.
You are fucking lying. I've never said that. What I have
put
said.
that on. I put that on everything, bro.
Where can I find it? Hold on.
You guys said, man, you and Johnny.
Stop talking. Every single time I go live, I'm on YouTube and I'm on TikTok. So every single time this year I've gone live, it's been recorded. So can you go back and tell me when I said that? We'll go back to the exact day and we'll pull it and we'll go through it, because I've never said the veterans were going to lose their benefits. That's a stupid premise. The veterans can't lose their benefits. Their benefits can be reduced, that certain benefits can be cut, but they can't lose their benefits. I've definitely said the benefits were reduced, which that's true, like access to VA and even the unaliving hotline, right, where they unalive themselves, that's been reduced, but I've never said veterans were going to lose their benefits. That's a stupid premise. Send your request to come off mute. Tell me when I said that.
I was muted, so I have a Vietnam veteran father who visits the VA regularly, and I can tell you for a fact that no benefits were reduced.
I don't care about you actually telling me about your dad.
These are real fucking veterans.
I don't care about you telling me about your dad. I can go to the actual documented budget where it shows that the VA budget has been reduced. What do you want me to do? Wait, think about this for a second, Odad. Think about this for a second, Odad. What do you want me to believe? You sitting here telling me, oh, nothing has changed, or the actual budget that's published by the Donald Trump administration when it comes to the allocation of funds. No, let me finish. The allocation of funds to the VA and showing that it has cut multiple line items, multiple parts of the budget, including the hotline that veterans get to call in case they want to harm themselves. What do you want me to do? You want me to believe the information I have access to, or do you want me to believe you telling me about your dad?
Look, I'm letting you know real time that you can speculate all you want, but for the people that are going, they're not seeing what you claim. So you can spout whatever you'd like about it and say that they have lost.
Every single person that goes to every single VA?
Isn't it? Aren't they all run by the same people?
Do you know every single person that goes to every single VA?
So your claim, okay, so that's the same to you. Then you can't make a claim because
I'm not making a claim.
You know every fucking employee at every VA across the nation?
I'm not making a claim based off of what I think. I'm making a claim based off of the information that's provided to me. And the information that's provided to me
isn't always
the information provided by the Trump administration, the person that you voted for, the person that you support. They gave the information about the cuts to the budget that they made. What do you want me to do with that?
Yes. So, okay. So let me tell you, let's say I run a business and I have 100 people employed and 10 of them don't do shit. If I get rid of them because I've got budget cuts, guess what? I'm going to get rid of them. Have you ever been to a store and you've seen fucking 50 people and 5 of them aren't doing shit? That was the VA in a nutshell. You don't know.
I don't care about you.
But you should because it was a waste of allotted money.
What you're saying.
We had a bunch of upper management.
Your point being,
they have a bunch of people.
In your analogy, what you're saying is you have when your analogy to equivocate this. What you're telling me right now in your analogy is that you own a business and you have 100 employees, but you fire 100, not even fire. You cut the actual budget for 10 of those employees.
Or their hours,
What am I supposed to, I don't care. What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to sit here and say, well, even though it doesn't say that he got rid of these 10 employees, their actual salaries are gone. Am I supposed to sit here and say, well, you know, maybe he didn't get rid of them, or maybe he actually had X, Y, or Z, or should I just say the funds that were allocated for 10 heads is now been eliminated, therefore they have to eliminate 10 heads. Should I say that?
Yeah, but
that's all I'm saying.
But that doesn't mean the customer gets, but the customer still gets in, they still get helped, and they still get out.
I'm not saying any of that. I'm not talking about the level of support. I'm not talking about happiness reports. I'm not talking about customer satisfaction. I'm talking about the funds that were allocated to veterans as a part of benefits for VAs and for the VA. And there's multiple cuts that have occurred. I think you're being willfully ignorant because you and I are saying two different things. I'm saying, looking at the actual budget, cuts have been made. You're saying, well, they're still happy. Things are still happening.
No, the claim is you guys say it's basically coming out of pocket for the people that go.
You keep saying you guys, but I never said any of that. And you're doing this because you're trying to run away from what we were originally talking about.
Let's go back to what we were originally talking about. Let's do it.
You're trying to actually say, oh, you made this claim, and I didn't.
No, because I find it frustrating.
I was actually making was the point that I was making before is that the Trump administration has lost jobs, and companies have they took an approach as far as stockpiling on inventory prior to the Trump administration taking over. They actually did a quarter's worth of additional inventory because the Trump administration actually said that they were going to make 90 deals in 90 days. They were going to focus on actual trade deals where they didn't get those trade deals done. And so moving into Q2 and Q3, companies had to make additional cuts to ensure their bottom line. Now, that's the first part of it. The second part of what you were saying was, oh, AI is taking over and AI is replacing people's jobs and robotics. That's not what's happening right now. The thing that's actually happening right now, you can laugh, but you don't know things. So,
no, but it is. We've seen it. We've seen fast food restaurants.
The thing that's happening right now, the actual major shift that companies are taking, that they're actually doing when it comes to laying people off for AI, they're not laying people off and then replacing them with AI. Companies are eliminating people, keeping the budget, and then buying additional chips so they can create AI. So even the positions right now, they're not actually eliminating these people's jobs and then sticking a robot into their positions. They're using the money from the person's job in order to actually be able to build in the future. Hey, Ambush, guess what? You always are watching my live. You're always requesting up, but guess what? You're blocked, bud. So the point being is not that there hasn't been development in AI, but the recent trend as far as people losing their jobs, it's all about chips.
Most people don't make the AI, they just use it. There's a handful of companies that make it, and chips. Other people are using it.
It's about chips, but that's why NVIDIA stock is through the roof. That's
NVIDIA actually went down a lot. You're actually wrong. You don't follow the stock market. NVIDIA crashed quite a lot.
Listen,
then don't make a claim you don't know.
No, shut up. You're trying to run from the point. You're trying to run from the point. I want you to address the point. I want you to address the fact that companies are cutting people's salaries so they can purchase chips, along with the idea that they're trying to ensure their bottom line in a Trump economy that has not been beneficial. You said the economy was good. I want you to address that.
I didn't say it was good. I said it's better than it would have been.
It's not.
I said it's better than it would have been, in my opinion.
And I've said it's trending down for those multiple factors. Can you address those factors?
Which factor was that? You just went off about chips.
The factors are Donald Trump's tariffs has caused companies.
Okay, wait. Okay,
Donald
tariffs.
Trump,
Yes, tariffs. No, you're right. Let's address the tariffs one at a time. Don't railroad me.
I want you to listen to what I'm saying. You need to stop speaking to respond and just listen to what I'm saying for a second, and then process it and respond.
I'm trying to.
The actual economy is down due to Donald Trump's tariff policies and companies trying to preempt the impact of Donald Trump's tariff policy alongside of trying to get involved in this chips race so they can develop AI.
Hey, aren't these companies that you're talking about? Aren't these the tax the rich multimillionaires and billionaires you guys always talk about?
I want you to address what I just said.
I am. I'm addressing it right now. The same companies that you guys think should pay more taxes, you're saying shouldn't have to pay tariffs, which is absolutely ass backwards.
I didn't say companies shouldn't have to pay tariffs. You're not listening, and you're not addressing what I said.
But you said that's why everything's going downhill is because it's tariff policy.
Pivot, and I'm not letting.
No, this is not pivoting. This is about tariffs.
I want you to listen to what I said one more time. This is what I want you to address directly. Donald Trump's tariff policy has been negatively impacting to the economy because of the impacts to business. Businesses are stockpile additional inventory to lessen the impact of Donald Trump's tariff policies. And then moving into Q2, Q3, have made additional cuts due to the fact that his policies have been so inconsistent, and also due to them trying to create budget to purchase chips to stay in the advancing AI race. The point being, Donald Trump's policies has negatively impacted the U.S. economy when it comes to paying more for consumers and everyday Americans losing their jobs.
But you want billionaires to pay more, though, right? Isn't this the same thing? Do you know that we actually, as a country, get more out of the tariffs for a financial backing than we would if we actually taxed them? Because the way they live is different.
We don't.
Because they write everything. Oh, yes, it is.
We don't.
They write everything off. All the rich people.
If you close actual tax loopholes, like being able to tax unrealized capital gains, and you stop the rich from being able to do that. Again, I don't care about that. I want you to address what I said. I want you to address that Donald Trump's policies has negatively impacted the economy and has made a shift for the worse. Now address that.
No, I don't agree. I don't
care if you agree, address it.
You don't agree, and that's the thing. This is two people's opinions.
I don't care if you don't agree. I want you
I don't care if you don't agree with me.
I want you to tell me, listen,
I'm trying to tell you.
This is what I need from you. You say, I don't agree with that. The reason why I don't agree with that is because A is happening, B is happening, and C is happening. We can take a look at the actual numbers reflecting A, B, and C. This is where I got the information from, and this is why it's trending this way.
Okay, do you know how much the country puts out as a percentage-wise of our GPI for actual welfare services and food services for the people of our country? Do you know that it's over half of our budget?
It's not true, but keep going.
Look it up. No, fact check me on this, motherfucker. Pull up a pie chart. No. Pull up a pie chart.
So
don't just say it's not true.
So you're saying
don't say it's not true. Do some research.
Okay, tell me where is that?
It's in the national statistics. Look it up.
Where? No. Don't say go look it up and do some research. Again, tell me this is where you find this information. This is the name of the actual study.
Google is free, dog. That's what you guys always say. Google is free.
You're being disingenuous. You provided a claim. I need you to source your claim or stop using your claim. That's what I just sat here and said, bud. I said, okay, cool. Where can I find this information that you're trying to provide for me? I will accept your information, but you have to tell me where to find it. You can't just say Google. That's not how you actually
that's the same thing. Oh my God, the dog. That's the same thing you guys say all the time. Google is free. Google is free.
You keep saying you guys, but you're talking to me.
I know.
No, I don't want you to say you guys again because you're not talking to anyone else. You're talking to me, right? I'm an individual. You're an individual. And so if I do something like that, then sure, hold me to that standard. But you keep trying to compare me to everyone else when you've never heard me say any of the things that you're saying. Now, I'm saying if you want to actually cite a source, that's fine. I'll accept your source, but I need you to tell me what's the name of the source and where can I find it? I don't want to hear.
I honestly feel like you say so much stuff you don't remember.
Who are you talking to?
Santana.
Tell me where your source is.
Okay. You want me to pull up an official report?
Yes. I want you to tell me where your source is, where you said half of the United States budget goes towards social programs.
All right.
While you do that, I'm going to mute you and thank a couple of people. W's in the chat for Jesse. Thank you so much, Jesse, for the $2 donation. Said, go get him, Santana. Jesse, I'm trying. Thank you so much for being here. You're awesome. I appreciate the $2 donation. W's in the chat for Marie for the $6.70 donation. Saying, I just want to share that I'm pulled over on I-65, taking a break from helping to catch a effing cow in the median. I don't know what we're supposed to do when we catch it. Why are you trying to catch a cow? I don't know. Good luck, Marie. W's in the chat for Marie. Good luck on that. W's in the chat for Gray, who sent a $3 donation saying, did the guest just simply just imply that unalive hotline workers don't do ish? That's exactly what he applied. That's exactly what it was. W's in the chat for Brandy for the $1 donation saying,
Bro, don't spread lies. That is not what I said.
Oh, yeah. W's in the chat for Brandy for the $1 dono, giving me a heads up about Ambush. Ambush is like it's weird. He's so infatuated and he's upset that I won't ever let him back on my live because he came up being racist and slurring, but he's been here. And so I just decided to actually block him because he's not coming back up ever again. So what's the point of having him in the chat being weird? Like, you guys know how I feel about that. W's in the chat for Joel, who sent a $5 super chat when we started the live to say Carolina Panthers lead at the half and Santana coming on. It's a good day. Listen, got to go back in and check the score. We got to see where we are, but I'm nervous. W's in the chat for Mark for the $10, $10 super chat say, keep fighting a good fight, brother. Don't let these maggots get you riled up. Their debate logic is just humorous. I'd be having so much fun if I were you right now. You think it's fun until you have to like go in like these insane circles, and then sometimes it just gets like draining. So there's that. And W's in the chat for Sim728, who sent a $4.99 super chat to say, why does MAGA always ride the D of billionaires but want to punch down on poor people and migrants? It's because they always think that they're like one lottery ticket away from being a billionaire. It's weird how they think that, you know, it could be them any moment when it's really not. Anyway, W's in the chat for all the donors. If anyone else wants to support live, you can do so. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, pay links and link in the bio. Santana Speaks for You. Santana Speaks for You is the best way to support the live. Everything's accepted. Anything's appreciated. If you're over on YouTube, you can send a super chat and I will read that out, just like Joanna. Joanna sent a $3 donation saying for the selling out. Also, F this old ass dad. Exactly.
That's very nice. Yeah, fuck me, right?
Feisty, yep. Who sent a $10. W's in the chat for Feisty, who sent a $10 donation and sent presents. Feisty, I hope you're having an amazing afternoon. Thank you so much for the love and support. W's in the chat for Feisty. All right. Did you find that actual source for me?
Of course I did, because it's real.
What's the name of the source?
Fiscaldata.treasury.gov.
Fiscaldata.treasury.gov. Okay. Perfect.
And it doesn't take, well, you could read, but if you scroll down, there's a nice little bar chart for you.
Wait, hold on. I'm on the actual site. What are we going to?
It literally says fiscal data. How much has the U.S. government spent this year? 1.2 trillion.
Wait. Again, I'm on the homepage. So did you search anything? Did you click from the homepage? Where did you go? I see your guide to American finance. How much did the U.S. government collect?
Well, I put in my...
Is this what you're saying? How much the U.S. government has spent this year?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I'm coming here. All right. So it says how much has the U.S. government spent this year? And It has a very large number. Okay, what are you looking at now?
Okay, if you go down the page just a little bit, it's not that far down. There's a bar chart that shows all the allocations.
Where? I'm scrolling and I don't see a bar chart. Okay, let me let you. Oh, hold on. What does the government buy? I see a bar chart there.
No. There's a U.S. government spending FYTD 2026 top 10 spending by top 10 spending by category and agency.
Hold on one second. Okay, so tell me what you see, because I see
it's under the spending categories. No, it's under the spending category in that same
categories. Okay.
Yeah, it's in the same thing you're in, but you have to go to the spending categories part of it.
Okay, I'm on spending categories, and I see, again, that's why I asked, are you saying where it says, what does the government buy?
Oh, yeah, I'm so sorry. There's a subheading under that. Yes, there is. It does say that in there as well.
Okay, so are you talking about the U.S. government spending FYTD 2026?
Correct.
Okay, all right. All right.
And
so,
we can see 22% Social Security,
mm-hmm,
okay, 15% Medicare, 14% health.
mm-hmm,
If you put those numbers together,
mm-hmm.
okay, you've got basically half your pie chart right there. If you put that in a pie chart.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and income security is 8%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that accounts for half of our budget.
Okay, so you're saying that accounts for half of our budget. Social Security accounts for half of the U.S.
No, Social Security counts for 22%. I'm talking about welfare services.
Okay.
Well, and the entirety of welfare services, because we call it a social safety net, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Social safety net includes things like Social Security, Medicare, health, income security, and if you want to consider it, veteran benefits and services, which is only 5%. But if you add all those together, our social safety net accounts for over 50% of our budget nationally. Okay? And that's a fact. So I just, you asked me to bring the receipts. These are the receipts.
Sure. So what you're looking at is the actual spending of the U.S. government. You don't look at the actual overall allocated budget of the U.S. government. You're looking at the top 10 things that they're saying that is being spent by actual, excuse me, by actual purchases within the United States. Even this says here,
real-time allocation of dollars.
The values outlaid, which is the money is actually paid out by the government sources from U.S. spending, may display spendings as obligation, which is money that is promised to be paid but may not be delivered. What does that mean? What does that mean?
I'm sorry, Cardro, what would you say? What does what mean?
Sure, I'll read it again, and I would like for you to tell me what this means. It says, values displayed are outlines, which means the money is actually paid out by the government. Other sources, such as U.S. Spending, may display spendings as obligated, which is money that is promised to be paid, but not yet delivered.
Yeah, I mean,
what does that mean?
It could mean a couple things. It could mean that sometimes they don't have.
No. Things. I want you to tell me what it means specifically.
What do you mean? There's a couple reasons why it could not be delivered.
Yeah.
Are you serious? I'm trying to tell you.
No. I want you to tell me again. What does that mean when it says that the money that's listed is outlines and not things that that may have? I'm sorry, it's outlines, but things that may not have been delivered.
It's what they're dedicating the finances to, but if under certain circumstances things don't come to fruition, then it wouldn't all go. And there's multiple factors that could cause that. So you could say, hey, I'm giving a certain percentage to the budget, but then we didn't actually spend it all, or we spent too much. In business or in the government, we've seen where people go over the budget, right? And we've seen people be under budget. So just because it's allocated doesn't necessarily mean it will actually be spent. But I guarantee you, with the way our budget's been in our government, because we got a problem with spending, I guarantee you they're going to spend most of that money. It's a kind of a no-brainer with that in the government.
How's it a no-brainer?
You think our government's got a great track record for spending?
No, I'm saying, how is it a no-brainer when it comes to actual? The point that I'm saying is, if they allocate different funds to certain parts of spending, but then things that are supposed to happen don't happen. I'll give you a great example, right? Super great example. Back when the government was shut down, there was allocations for SNAP benefits, right? Which is one of those social safety net programs that you're talking about. Yeah. And the actual emergency funds were allocated and it was baked into the budget and it was set to be released. But those funds were not released because Donald Trump and the Trump administration fought it tooth and nail And
because both sides fought. Because both sides fought with each other.
Let me finish my sentence. Donald Trump fought to ensure that the actual funds were not released, even though there were emergency funds for it. And then at the end of the day, by the time that it got held up, it was never released because the government was reopened. So that's money that was allocated that was set to be released, over $8 billion, but it was never released. So the point being
is that what the total was for 1 month, was $8 billion?
Yes.
That's wild.
For 42 million Americans.
Yeah, I didn't see that total. That's wild.
Yeah, so the point being is there's massive amounts of the budget that's allocated that is never actually distributed for one reason or the other. And this administration has actively been looking to not distribute funds to certain social safety nets, certain programs.
How can you say that based off one circumstance? You think they think that the whole entire side of the government is looking to get rid of programs because of that scenario, or
what I'm saying,
put out money? You said they're actively looking.
Yes, and that's what I was just saying. What I'm saying is the Trump administration, since getting office, has cut multiple social safety nets programs, things like U.S. aid, all of those types of programs that are allocated to.
We found that the U.S. aid dollars were going to a lot of people who probably shouldn't have been collecting that.
Again, you can keep trying to say that, but what I'm telling you is that the Trump administration has cut massive amounts of allocated funds. Someone put in chat FEMA. Yeah, you're absolutely right. They've cut funds to FEMA. Like, so even with these budget funds that were allocated, the current administration has cut those funds and either cut them or not release them. And that's the problem.
FEMA, wasn't that the same people that was going around avoiding people's houses that had a different political opinion than them to not help them during the tragedy of the storms?
That's not true at all.
That was found to be not true, because I'm pretty sure that was a pretty big scandal there for a minute.
It wasn't. That was found not to be true at all.
Okay.
If certain individuals wanted to actually not go, I mean, it might have been a case by case situation, but when it came to people that were impacted by the hurricanes, especially in eastern North Carolina and South Carolina, those people received the assistance that they actually needed, including my family who lives in the area. So yeah.
A lot later than they should have, but that's besides the point.
They received the benefits immediately.
Well, I saw there are quite a few people raising the stink because they felt pretty abandoned.
I don't like anecdotal like information, and I can pull this up and I can get you the information as far as FEMA response. But I will tell you, the only time that I really talk personally about this is because my family was in that area. I can tell you for a fact.
Well, you want me to tell you, like I said about my dad and the thing, nobody cares about your family, or nobody cares about your experience?
Restored, they were able to collect the emergency funds. Now, like I said, I can actually source this information while I'm telling you about my personal experience. That's the difference between you and I, bud. The point being is, no.
How is that any different? No, you just gave me a personal experience. And so you're saying that everybody, so you're saying now that
source the information.
Okay, so everybody got that? It's because your family did, everybody got it on time?
I can source the information. Do you know the difference between what you and I said?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
You told me about your personal experience with your dad, and I said, okay, cool.
Anything.
How do you actually, okay. All right. Sure.
It did.
Just hold tight 1 second.
Your argument to me about the VA thing is, oh, so you know every veteran? So you know every victim?
All right. So this comes directly from Homeland Security.
So why don't you want to hear your own argument?
Again, I said that I can source my information. I can literally source my information. You gave me an anecdotal situation. I literally said I don't like giving anecdotal stories, and I can source this. And then I told you my anecdotal story, and now I'm sourcing it. So I want you to stop, and I'm going to give you my actual backing outside of my actual family experience, right? So the information comes from the Homeland Security, and which is this homelandsecurity.gov. You can also go to recovery efforts continue from FEMA.gov, but it gives the actual response time for the hurricane that occurred in North Carolina and South Carolina. And both of them are saying that immediate, let's see here, immediate assistance funds were released to, let me see if I can find what percentage. They're giving the response time as far as 1 to 3 days for anyone that actually submitted it. And then the individual assistance registration funds were released anywhere from, this says it has been released for 17 days, but for people on average to receive their funds, it's 12 days. And this comes from disasterassistance.gov. It gives the breakdown of the actual response for the initial amount and then the additional application of the price. I'm sorry, not application price.
It was really cute that you said for the people that submitted it, because you know all those people that didn't have power or internet or anything. How the hell are they supposed to submit it?
Yeah, there was multiple ways for people to submit it. They can either submit it from their cell phones, where people had the ability to actually charge up their cell phones and submit it online. Yes, that was one way. And then the second way is they actually had FEMA going door to door and posted up in separate areas where people could come and they could have access to emergency Wi-Fi and they can submit it there as well. So there was 2 different ways for people to submit those. They could do it online themselves, as they could access the internet, or they could go to a designated, 3 ways, do it themselves, go to a designated area, or if there was someone with FEMA in their area, they could sign up with them there. So yes, there were 3 different ways for them to sign up.
It sounds so easy unless you're the victim of a fucking storm and you don't have anything.
Okay, so I already gave you my anecdotal experience, and then I backed my anecdotal experience up.
You backed it up under a circumstantial evidence. Circumstantial.
How is it circumstantial?
Because it's only for the people that could have got to those resources.
So how are they going to track the ability to get those resources to people who don't apply for the resources?
Because they knew who got wiped. They knew the towns that got wiped out.
The question. I want you to listen to the question. I want you to answer the question.
The roads were obliterated.
I want you to listen to the question. I want you to answer the question directly. How are they supposed to track the actual response time for people that don't apply for the assistance?
Okay. You know the population. You know the population. You no.
They're not.
The numbers are out there. Yes, you can.
No, the numbers are not out there. You're just being stupid now. Like, I'm sorry, that's where we are. You're just being stupid, because there's no way to track data for people that don't actually apply for it.
Okay, then how do they know how many people are missing?
Only track the information.
How do you know how many people are missing? How do you know how many people are missing in the town when they say there's 200 people? Duh. Okay, so there you go. You just answered your own question based off population. They know the devastation. They know what areas are impacted and how heavily they were impacted just by going off population alone. And how can they come up with dollar value then? You know, they come up with dollar values for destruction, right? How do they come up with that?
I want you to stop running your mouth for 2 seconds and listen to me. Stop for a second and listen.
Hear me out.
I want you to stop. No. Because either you're being woefully ignorant or you just don't understand. And at this point, I need to figure out which one it is. How do you track the amount of time that it takes to get someone assistance if the person does not apply for assistance?
How do you track the amount of money it takes to fix everything or damages when nobody has actually registered the value of everything and nothing's been repaired yet?
You track it based off of the information that you have.
So you're answering your own fucking question, dude.
I know, but you're not getting it because you're stupid.
You're not getting it. You're trying to say something.
I'm not doing this. I'm not yelling today. Absolutely not yelling. I refuse to do stupid. You can't track something. You can't make someone apply for something so you can track the information. That makes no sense. That makes literally no sense. W's in the chat for Nikki for the $2.50 donation. Say for some chamomile tea dealing with these ignorance. Yeah, I need something. Again, I woke up with a migraine and I wasn't gonna go live today, but it subsided enough. And that's why I said I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to yell at people because I refuse to like make this migraine come back or make it worse or anything. So I absolutely refuse. So yeah, I'm not gonna do it. W's in the chat for Marie for the $3.33 super donation to say, left the cow to the highway patrol. F that cow. Caller is going crazy. Work calling SS welfare. Exactly. It's our money that we're required to pay with the condition that it will be returned when needed, not welfare. Exactly. Like that's the point that I wanted to get to, but we never got to that. W's in the chat for Joel, who sent a $2 super chat to say Panthers are up 2017 going into the fourth. Yeah, I know right now it's 2020 with 5 minutes left. We need this game. Keep pounding. Guys, if anyone else likes to support the live, you can do so. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. Pay links in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks for You. Santana Speaks for You is the best way to support the live. Everything's accepted and things appreciated. If you're over on YouTube, you can send a super chat. I will read that out. Only request up if you're a Trump supporter. We are not talking to friendlies. We are only looking for some debates. If you are a Trump supporter, get in the box. And we will move forward with the actual debate. I'm clicking on, there's a lot of people here. Really quick, let me just make sure, because I see friendlies in the box, but I see also, like, I don't know what's going on. So take a look down at the bottom. If you see the pink and blue person, you're good. You're perfectly fine. That means you're not in the request. But if you see the gray person, if you look down at the bottom and you see the gray person, that means you're in the request, you're here, and you're ready to debate. So if you're in the request, you're here, you're ready to debate, please, please, please go ahead and request up, and we will go forward from there. Hi, PK, how are you?
Good. I'm sorry you're suffering with a migraine today. That sucks.
No, it got better before I got live for the most part, so we're all good. PK, thank you sincerely. Are you a Trump supporter?
I am.
All right, PK, question for you. How do you feel about this administration dragging you and us into multiple new wars after Donald Trump proclaimed himself to be like the president of peace and no new wars, and like we're dealing with all of the backlash of his administration?
I don't. He effectively went in and tried to negotiate with the other countries, whether it be with tariffs or whether it be just sit downs. But he effectively tried to sit down with everybody that was at war. Even as to go so far as to invite Zelensky to come to the White House, told him to bring a list of his demands or what he wanted to negotiate with, and dude couldn't even show up with anything. He wanted the press opportunity to sit there and try to make that admin look bad. So what we've got going on in Venezuela, we couldn't time it. If you look, the Venezuelans actually I saw a video earlier of them tearing down a gigantic billboard of Maduro. So you can't time these things. The zapping the boats and stuff like that, we've been doing it for 20, 25 years. It's not that big of a deal. I think the news is polarizing everything it can to be sensational, and everything they're trying to get clicks for the next day. So I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think it's this president doing what he's supposed to do.
Okay. Let's get a little bit into that, because while I agree with you that like Donald Trump has not been the direct catalyst for all of these issues. He's willfully engaged in harmful things that impact the U.S. and also putting us in tough situations when it comes to where we are. So let's say what's happening with Venezuela. Donald Trump has been open and adamant about wanting a regime change in Venezuela since his first administration, right? I mean, he's been talking about this since 2019 and how he wanted to actually install someone new. And he's also openly admitted that it's about the oil, right? He's talked about the oil. He's talked about how prior to him leaving office the first time, he said Venezuela was on the brink of collapse and we would have been able to get all the oil. Fast forward to where we are now. We're purchasing oil and we want the oil. We could have had it for free. His words, not mine. And then he talked about taking back land and oil and all this other stuff. The Trump administration is actively antagonizing Venezuela and trying to basically get a reason out of them to declare war. So again, we can install a new president. And again, my question is, after the Trump administration, after people that voted for him, voted for him for like no new wars, where he's actively engaging in conflicts with Venezuela, we're reacting to conflicts with Syria. He's actively talking about going back into Afghanistan. We are still supporting Ukraine with the conflict with Russia. We're engaged with Israel and what's happening with Hamas in Gaza. And then on top of that, we've been adamant about protecting Taiwan from China. All of these things seems like it lends itself to Donald Trump stretching our resources thin after he said this was something that he wasn't going to do.
So once again, I don't think, like you said, he's not the direct catalyst. And I don't think out of any U.S. president that we've ever had, I think Trump is the exact wrong one to have a pissing contest with. So anything that we have that is still old regime, as far as, I mean, you saw it with FBI just on the first term with J6, but anything old regime is.
What do you mean?
250 FBI agents dressed up as Trump supporters.
That's not true.
That is true. There's video of them getting dressed.
It's literally not true. It's been documented. Even Kash Patel, the current FBI director, came out and said those claims made by Donald Trump were false. There were 1, FBI agents deployed after January 6th started. 2, there were, I think, 60 something total undercover agents or off-duty agents that were in the crowd prior to the deployment of the FBI. So no, that's not true.
There was even a former DOJ, KILL them, yelling.
Can you address what I just said?
Yeah, so it is absolutely true. So if you're talking about claims made back then, but all of the information now, they've got video of people in the White House in a room dressing up. And then there's another one of Kash Patel's director of the FBI. But when was that claim?
Director of FBI when?
Trump's administration.
Okay, so current FBI under Donald Trump, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Kash Patel, current FBI director under Donald Trump, has said himself that the statement that Donald Trump made that there were 200 some odd FBI agents that were in the crowd during J6 is false. Again,
I didn't hear that.
Yeah. Kash Patel, I just said that, but Kash Patel came out and denied the claims by Donald Trump. Would you like to address that?
I'm looking it up right now.
Why would Kash Patel say that's not true?
Uh-oh.
While you look that up, I'm going to go ahead and read off a couple of thank yous. You can find the actual information under multiple news sources, or you can even take a look at the video that Kash Patel, because he was interviewed while he was saying it. Anyway, W's in the chat for Kat. Hey, Kat, who sent a $20 donation saying, you, sir, are a rose in a fisted glove. Thank you. I try to be the rose that grew from the concrete. So there's that. W's in the chat for Sean, who sent a $10 super chat to say, I know I harp on the military, but I'm infuriated how casually maggots talk about sending 19-year-old soldiers to get pew-pewed at while their ample arses playing Call of Duty. Cowards. Exactly. They always want to talk about these things and pretend like they're about it, but never want to be the ones that actually have to see the consequences of what they're calling for. So that's wild. W's in the chat for Ellie, who sent a $5 super chat to say, what a wonderful day, Santana. I say, what a wonderful day. We are faithful for the words of Anthony to say, Jake Paul, not strong. W's in the chat as well for Ellie, who sent another $5 super chat to say, what a wonderful day, Santana. I say, what a wonderful day. Andrew Tate destroyed. It's a new era, brother. The era of scammers are no more. Exactly. How awesome was it that we got to see both fucking Jake Paul and Andrew Tate get knocked out in the same weekend? Well, technically, Andrew Tate didn't get knocked out, but he got all this fattened up around his eye and he lost. So fucking love it. W's in the chat for all the donuts, guys. If anyone else like to support the live, you can do so. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, pay links and link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks for You. Santana Speaks for You is the best way to support the live. Everything's accepted, anything's appreciated. If you're over on YouTube, you can send a super chat. I will read that out. Guys, only request up if you're a Trump supporter. We're only looking for some debates. Last but not least, If you take a look up at the top and you see the word follow, that means you're not following me. If you see follow up here, hit that follow button. Hit that follow button. Make sure you follow. This is the backup account and this is the main account. Follow both of them because we go back and forth. And if you see like a gray heart at the top, that means you're not on the team. Go ahead and send your daily heart me. It's only 1 coin, but you have to go back in. After you send it, you have to go back in. You have to hit that claim button. It'll be black. It'll say claim. You got to hit that, and then it adds you to the team. You can set notifications so you know when I go live. Do all the wonderful things. PK, so what do you think now? Again, Kash Patel, Donald Trump's current FBI director, pushed back on the premise that there were a bunch of undercover FBI agents in the crowd with J6.
So he didn't dispute that fact. He said that, stating that 274 FBI agents were deployed on crowd control mission that breached Bureau protocol, but did not amount to instigation. So let me run down to this link.
What are you looking at?
That was the AI version of something that came out of Newsweek.
Okay, because I'm looking at the actual Newsweek article because Newsweek is awesome.
September 27th, 2025.
Let's see. What's the date on this? Well, no, it's published September 28th, but it was updated on October 17th. And it says here, FBI Director Kash Patel has disputed President Donald Trump's claim that undercover bureau agents under the former FBI Director Chris Wray provoked the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol, saying instead that they were deployed on crowd control missions that breached bureau protocol, but did not amount to instigation. So they're trying to say, again, after the events of January 6th started to unravel, like I said, FBI agents were deployed, and he's saying that while he doesn't, he feels like they breached the protocol for deployment, they did not actually antagonize people to encourage any type of instigations or issues. So again, Kash Patel, Donald Trump's FBI agent, has shot down your premise that the FBI was utilizing J6.
So the one thing I always look for, especially in these, is the way that it's worded and the way that it can be misinterpreted. So saying instead, so it says here, under former FBI Director Christopher Wray, that these agents provoked the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. Instead, they were deployed on a crowd control mission that breached Bureau protocol, but did not amount to instigation. So they were there. But they're saying what? Yeah, so it's almost like a word pretzel.
No, it's not.
They said that they were there.
It's you twisting yourself into a word pretzel. It's not.
Not really.
It's literally them saying that the FBI agents were deployed for crowd control, and Kash Patel feels like they breached protocol with the way that they deployed it. But the FBI agents were not antagonizing the people that were currently rioting during J6. And if you feel like it is a pretzel, then the pretzel comes because Kash Patel is Donald Trump's current FBI director, and he doesn't want to openly contradict Donald Trump, but he has to say what the reality is. That's the actual pretzel. Him trying to protect Donald Trump's ego and keep Donald Trump's lies alive with also telling the truth because he knows the truth with the FBI. That's where the pretzel comes from.
Well, but he's not stating an exact. That's what I'm getting from this. There's not
stating enough.
This is exactly what
to say that Donald Trump said there were 200 and some odd FBI agents that were in the crowd that started J6. That was Donald Trump's claim. Donald Trump is saying the FBI directly were the people rioting in J6, and this absolutely refutes those claims.
Well, so if you look at it and say, so they were deployed on a crowd control mission that breached. So they were deployed in one manner.
Give me a second, 1 second. Guys, scores 23-20, 2 minutes and 20 seconds left. Panthers are up, just kicked the field goal, about to give the ball back to Tampa Bay. Let's go.
If we need to pause, take a pause.
No. I can multitask. You can keep going.
I'm usually like 2 feet from the screen yelling. So on this, so basically what he's saying is crowd control, they were deployed on a crowd control mission, but that breached Bureau protocol, but did not amount to instigation. So technically speaking, if you really wanted to break that down, they didn't start or instigate what happened. However, were they the ones rubbing poop on the walls?
No,
there's too much. There's too much of a. There's too much of a variance.
Because again, you're trying to read in between the lines, and this.
Well, that's what he set forth.
No,
he didn't say, "Here's the line. This is exactly what they did."
You're trying to read in between the lines.
Deployed here
again. Super simple. I'll read it out directly. FBI Director Kash Patel has disputed President Trump's claims that undercover bureau agents under former FBI Director Chris Wray provoked the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol, saying instead that they were deployed on crowd control missions that breached the Bureau's protocol, but did not amount to instigation. So, being very direct.
Well, that's not being very direct.
No. Listen to what I'm saying.
It was here, and then they didn't go past here.
Listen to what I'm saying, PK. Being very direct. They said that he disputes Donald Trump's claim. That's the first thing. First thing, saying, nope, Donald Trump's claim, nope, not right. Second thing, that they actually were deployed on crowd control missions. Crowd control missions. This occurred after the actual attack started. This was after Donald Trump, his speech, and after they had already marched to the Capitol. That's when they were deployed. And then the third thing that's being said here is that they feel like they breached the Bureau's protocol, but did not amount to any type of instigation, meaning they don't agree with how the agents handled the situation, but they did not escalate the situation. That's what this is saying.
That's a pretty wide stance. You're going from what FBI should be doing to they 100% started all the shit and all the mess of it. So you went from crowd control to them being the.
Donald Trump said the FBI agents were the one that started all the shit.
Right. And then even being there wearing MAGA hats.
Kash Patel saying his FBI, the director of the FBI, Donald Trump's actual FBI director, is saying that's not true. So, like, we can keep it moving because at this point, I feel like you're trying to look for semantics when this has been completely disrupted and disputed. The point that I think we need to get back to, because now we're talking about January 6th, now we're talking about things in the past. We can continue to try to litigate that when that's already been disproven. I want to focus on what Donald Trump is doing today, this Trump administration is actively doing, and it's actively harmful towards all Americans.
No, I'm with you. And I'll sum it up real quick. So, number one, at first it was that never happened. There was never any FBI there. Then now it's
Who said that? Who said there was never any FBI there?
You did. I said there was 274 FBI agents. You said that didn't happen.
No, I said
dressed up as MAGA people.
Yes, that didn't happen. No,
that happened. There's videos of them.
No. There were not.
You need me to go find the video?
There were not 200 something FBI people dressed up as MAGA people. There were about 60 something FBI agents that were either uncover or off duty that were there.
You're starting to get into informants. So this is the analogy of it, okay? What Kash Patel said is it wasn't a handoff and a run, and it wasn't a pass. And it turns out the quarterback pitched the ball. So that you're looking at a wide range of, it's not them doing their job legally and lawfully. It's not them breaking the law. It's somewhere in between. So I get it. But when you ask direct questions, I mean, Kamala was the best with the word salad. But this is former VP, whatever. But this is the whole thing of when he's asked these questions, especially by reporters, and they're putting it in print. I mean, everything is so, again, sensationalized. But like you said, if you want to move on,
sure. Go back to Venezuela. Just an FYI, multiple reports, stories. We can go to the congress.gov where the actual information was reviewed, and this was reviewed on March the 4th, 2025. Who was president on March the 4th, 2025?
That was Trumpy Bear.
Okay, so who's in charge of the House at that time?
Republicans.
Okay. So based off of the internal investigation that was completed by Congress on March the 4th, 2025, and the information that was listed, they did a comprehensive report, and it's listed FBI did not send undercover operatives to join J6 attacks. And they actually cited the information from the watchdogs that completed the direct investigation. They did also in this information cite that people that were a part of the far right instigators that were in January 6th included the Oath Keepers and the Proud Boys. So again, going back to Kash Patel, who by word salading, as you would say, tried to cover Donald Trump's ass and his lie by not directly saying, oh, he's lying, but also just saying like, hey, what he's saying isn't true. Kash Patel said it, but if you look at the actual detailed report breakdown by congress.gov, or you can take a look at any of the other articles and findings, because what happened is under the Biden administration, they investigated the FBI as well. So there's earlier reports that it did not happen, but Donald Trump, as soon as he got back in office, he had his DOJ, he had Congress, he had everyone reviewed to see this. And that's when they found that no, FBI agents were not a part of the J6 attackers. And that's why Kash Patel had to bend himself into pretzels to not only say, no, this isn't true, but try to say it without harming what Donald Trump was saying, because Donald Trump said a lie.
So I'm looking, the only thing I pulled up, Congress, March 4th, 2025, the only thing I can see on there is March 4th, Donald Trump addressed a joint session of Congress.
Yeah, if you go to, again, it's congress.gov, the PDF file is documented. No, FBI did not send undercover operatives to January 6th attack, Watchdog says. And this is the breakdown that was published. And it's just the report that says that actual statement is false.
Okay.
And you can also reference other articles that were published near or around that time, including there's information that came from the Department of Justice, from the Inspector General, which they did an actual inside report investigating how the FBI handled the situations leading to January the 6th. This comes from the U.S. Department of Justice and the Attorney General. You can take a look at the PBS article that's listed there. You can, Axios did a story on it, BBC did a story on it, Politico did a story on it. Multiple sources are showing that what Donald Trump said is not true.
So you're saying this, because I can't pull it up for some reason, there's just too much. So you're saying this says the FBI was not involved?
The FBI did not send people as far as attackers on January the 6th, no.
Okay. But you did see where Kash just said what they got sent to do is they breached that protocol. However, yet they weren't labeled as 100% instigators yet.
No, they didn't say that they weren't labeled 100% instigators yet. He said that he feels as if they breached FBI, or not, they didn't say FBI, said Bureau protocol, but it was not instigation. Meaning the reason why they were deployed was not to the standard of why they would be deployed under the Bureau, but they did not take part in any type of instigation. You're trying to twist it in circles, and it's not.
I'm not trying to twist it in circles.
Really,
have you not seen the videos?
You keep talking about these videos, but videos can be.
I mean, I can send them to you. It's gonna take.
I don't want to see the videos because the video. Have you watched A Day of Rage?
Yes.
Okay. Do you deny that the people there were attacking police officers, breaking into the Capitol, smearing shit on the wall, hanging the Confederate flag in the Capitol building rotunda, and multiple people that align themselves with the Trump administration? They support Donald Trump. They have been open Trump supporters have all been held to account as far as, prior to Donald Trump pardoning them, but held to account for actually doing these actions in the name of Donald Trump.
So you went through a lot there. Can you go point by point?
I just want to know if you deny that these people were Trump supporters, yes or no?
The Confederate, again, you've got people from outside sources. You got people from outside.
People were Trump supporters, yes or no?
You got people that Donald Trump has stood on stage and said, I don't support those people.
Do Do you deny
just because they support Trump and Trump stays on stage?
Trump supporters, yes or no?
I'm trying to explain it to you.
You're trying to tell me from the position of Donald Trump saying that he wants them as supporters versus the actual question
That's not what he said.
Yeah, I don't care about what Donald Trump said. I want to know.
So you don't care about what Trump said now?
I want to know, were these people Trump supporters, yes or no?
On paper, yes.
No, not on paper.
Donald Trump has spoken out against them.
Yeah, sure, that's fine. Donald Trump, they still voted for Donald Trump. They still went to the Capitol.
They said they did.
They still tried to overthrow the actual U.S. election for Donald Trump. So the point being is, even though you say Donald Trump says that he disavowed them, I don't care about that. I care about what they did in the name of Donald Trump. And what they did in the name of Donald Trump was try to overthrow the 2020 presidential election.
When he said peacefully and patriotically, do you think that means rub shit on the walls and carry a Confederate flag?
I don't care about that. He said that one time.
You don't care.
Said multiple times. Fucking interception. Let's go. I don't care about him saying that. I care about him saying multiple times, march on the Capitol and fight like hell. Like, I care about him.
He didn't say that.
He did.
You're watching a clip. You're watching a badly edited clip.
He said multiple times, march to the Capitol, fight like hell. I'll be right there.
That wasn't said back to back. It was like 51 minutes apart. Peacefully and patriotically is not the same as fight like hell. Again, if you're watching stuff that's taken out of context, you're reading somebody else's script or something. It's already been rebutted like multiple times.
Okay. Let's see here. This is the direct quote from Donald Trump. Literally, direct quote. We fight like hell, and if you don't fight like hell, you're not gonna have a country anymore. Is that something that's taken out of context by saying we fight like hell, and if you don't fight like hell, you're not gonna have a country anymore? Is that out of context?
I don't think he said those two things back to back.
No, that's one sentence. That's one sentence.
Can you tell me what mark it was in that video? What time?
I'm looking at the transcript. You can go to the entire
NPR?
video. Yes, the
Okay.
NPR article. The video is connected to it. But I need to hear you say yes or no. Yes or no.
Again, the media was the one that messed us up the first time.
Fight like hell, and if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
Yeah, I'm reading the same thing you are. However, on the last one that I saw, it was like 51 minutes apart that he said anything like fight like hell.
It wasn't.
And
it wasn't. That was
peacefully and patriotically.
We haven't gotten to that. That was another sentence, but I need you to address this first sentence.
Sure. Let's say he did say it. Wonderful. Because that's exactly right. That if you don't stand up and actually show up and have at least a presence. Again, I don't see how it comes out that all of a sudden there's FBI agents.
Give me a second. W's in the chat for Cindy. Cindy sent a 5 membership over on YouTube. W's in the chat for Cindy. Thank you so much for the 5 memberships. And fucking W's in the chat for Joel for the $10 super chat to say Panthers win with an interception. I know, I saw it. Let's fucking go. That means we're on the road to the playoffs. We're leading the division, and now we hold our future in our hands. W's in the chat for Joel. W's in the chat for the Panthers. W's in the chat for me. Guys, if anyone else would like to support the live, you can do so. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links and link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks for You. Santana Speaks for You is the best way to support the live. Everything's accepted, anything's appreciated. If you're over on YouTube, you can send a super chat and I will read that out. Guys, can we knock out the daily gift goal? It's the donuts. It's the little donuts. I think I just pinned it. Yep. Can we knock that out, please? Also, if you are a Trump supporter, get in the box. If you're someone that supports Donald Timothy Trump, get in the box. We are only looking for some debates. Please do not request up. If you are not a Trump supporter, we are not looking for to speak to any friendlies. We're only looking for some debates. With that being said, PK, I want you to come off mute. You're talking about the premise as far as when it was or was not said. It was said, and that was one sentence. So now I want to move on to a couple other statements that he made. And you're looking at the NPR article, which has the actual video connected to it. So, I mean, yes, you can go back and reference it. Now, he said, His defense lawyers, however, pointed out the different passage in which Trump said, "I know everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard." That's what he said, right? Hello?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So he did make that statement, right?
Correct.
Okay. When he said that, he also said "fight like hell" multiple times, including the actual crowd breaking out into chants saying "fight for Trump, fight for Trump." So the point that I'm making is that with him saying multiple times that you have to fight like hell, he said that in different iterations, including the one that I read off where he said, if you don't fight like hell, you won't have a country. He did say the peaceful part, but he also, the crowd was also continuing to chat about fight like hell. And from that point, they went over to the Capitol and engaged in all of these acts. Now, the point that I'm trying to get to is that no matter whether he said peaceful or not, the people that follow him, the people that were there, were actually incited and actually attacked the Capitol based off of supporting Donald Trump. But the bigger point is, and I was like, my attention was distracted, and I'll let you do this, and I'm closing this. I don't even want to talk about this anymore. We were talking about here and now, and I let us get away from that. I let us get away from the actual point, which was we're talking about here and now. So I don't want to talk about January 6th anymore. Hard stop. Let's go to today, right? Let's talk about what's happening today. I fucking, you know what it was? It was the game is on. My attention was kind of split, and so I let it go back.
All good.
Even though I have a hard, fast rule about like not dealing in the past. I want to stay with today. So PK, with what he's doing today, it's harmful to millions of Americans. How are you still good with that?
If you look at the risk and reward, what we got out of the last admin, I know we're staying present day, but just comparison wise, if you look at what we were getting versus now, it's night and day, in my opinion, of course.
Be specific.
You got immigration up there. I'll also add economy, but I would go like hands down immigration. Like why was the border open?
About immigration?
I can go all day.
Okay. All right. So, I got a couple of questions. Do you support the current deportation process or the deportation initiative that's being engaged in by the Trump administration?
Yes and no. I actually think they should take it a little bit easier, and I think that's coming. Hopefully, Trump's mentioned it. But the people that are here that just don't know how to do paperwork, or they don't have as much of a guide through, again, a broken ass immigration system. I think he's trying to figure out a way to get them processed a lot better. Most of the people don't understand that the people that are going now, like you look at the chaos and you look at the women that are getting handcuffed and stuff like this. Number one, when they are going after these people, my favorite video is there's a guy and he's like, oh, look, they're arresting a Mexican. He's, doing his job, blah, blah, blah. And, the hardworking people getting swept up off the street. And then there's a ICE agent that walks up and he's a guy and he goes, hey, by the way, we do child sex crimes. This isn't just any normal. And he goes, oh, that guy's a fucking weirdo.
Yeah, I want you because I want to be very clear because I'm going somewhere with this, and like I know you were going off on like other stories or whatever, but just understanding, are you you wish that they would be a little easier on the way that they're going about deportation, but for the most part you support the deportation efforts?
For the most part, yes. I think they'll finally do what they're supposed to and just curtail a little bit.
Okay, cool. What about the Trump administration giving so much leeway to ICE, including like increasing their budget, doubling down on them having federal agent immunity and protections, and allowing them to be more aggressive in their approach, removing the targeted approach as far as people and putting a quota in place as far as numbers?
You should always have goals. So anybody that's in law enforcement, whatever it is, if it's any type of person that you're paying, you should at least tell me you're showing up, right? At least you're making an X number of calls. So there should be a quota because they should be going after the worst first and then checking everybody else in the room.
But they're not. And see, that's
what's happening now.
No, it's not. That's the issue with what you're saying. Like, because you and I agree, they should be going after the criminals instead of going after like a quota number. Again, they've removed the process that they normally target undocumented immigrants, including going after those criminals. And they've now switched to a quota where they're targeting 3,000 a day. So again, that shifts from ensuring that we're getting like the harmful people to just getting anyone that they can grab.
Well, again, at the end of the day, here's the way that I look at it. And again, I hope they back it up to, if this person is, a lot of the people that are getting deported now on like the second fringe, as you would refer to it as, not the top tier most wanted, but they still have crimes or they still have deportation orders in place. There's still things of that nature to where they're not going to qualify anyways. So on the flip side, this was my beef with the immigration thing the whole time. Anywhere from, I'm going to ask you the question because I don't know if you know, but how many people that have been claiming asylum under the last 3-4 years are successful as a percentage?
Less than 30%.
Right. My guess is, from what I've heard, is anywhere from 10 to 20% that are actually successful. So if that's the case, 80% of the people that came through the border aren't going to qualify anyways, but yet we're still paying for them. So that was my biggest beef with it.
That's not true.
That is true. They go to a sanctuary city. We're paying for food. We're paying for healthcare.
No. You understand that number comes from being granted asylum in the sense of like having a credible threat hearing, and then once the credible threat interview takes place, then the determination is made that they can either claim asylum or they cannot claim asylum. And then from that point, if they can claim asylum, then they're allowed into the country and they're given a court date to return. Or if they're denied the actual credible threat, then they're kicked back out of the country. So that less than 30% comes from the claim, the actual people coming to the border and claiming asylum, and whether they're let into the country or rejected.
Well, that wasn't happening though. It wasn't every single person was happening. That it wasn't.
It was. You brought up the point and you know about it. Now you're trying to shift off it because now you have more details about it versus what you thought that you knew. So now you're trying to change your claims from what you originally said because I have more information on what you thought that you knew.
Not true. So do you know how they were claiming asylum?
Yes, I know how you claim asylum.
All they do is stand up and say, I claim asylum. They were handing him a cell phone. They were saying, here, make your appointment here. Go ahead and get on your bus.
That's not how you claim asylum.
That's how it was being done
at
the southern border.
No, it's not. You're lying. You're literally lying.
You know these pictures, right?
I don't give a shit about your pictures. You're lying.
There's video and picture evidence of what I'm saying.
Go get the video then. You're fucking.
You also not know about the flyers and the toilet and porta potties?
PK, I don't give a shit about that now. Go get the video. Because you're sitting here lying. You're sitting here lying, but that's fine. I'm going to put you on mute. I want you to go get the video. I want you to stay on mute until you have that video for me. So go grab that video. Go grab that video. W's in the chat for Marie for the $1.11 say, I watched a man with a literal baby be manhandled, and then the agent now throw a blanket over the baby and drive it away in the man's car. They're stalking out schools, pickups. They're out of control, full stop. Exactly. And there's some even more worse stuff. Like I haven't even gotten to the point that I wanted to get to because he derailed the point, but I promise you it's way worse than what can be said. W's in the chat for Brenda for the $5 donation saying ICE has arrested those going to court to work through their immigration status the correct way. PK is adult. Yes, he is. W's in the chat for Lisa for the $2 super chat to say PK knows that he's been debunked. He does, and he's fighting for like any and everything that he can come up with, but it's not working, guys. W's in the chat for all the donors. If anyone else would like to support the live, you can do so. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, Pay links, and link tree in bio. Santana Speaks For You is the best way to support the live. Everything's accepted. Anything's appreciated. If you're over on the YouTube, you can send a super chat, and I will read that out. Guys, keep tapping the screen. Keep tapping the screen. Let's go ahead and get the likes up to 300,000 likes. Also, if you look up at the top and you see the word follow, that means you're not following me. Follow me. This is the backup account. Follow the backup account, but follow the main account as well. Make sure you follow both of them. We'll probably be back later and definitely on the main account because I started late today due to a migraine. So we are definitely gonna do a second live later. So make sure you follow both of them if you want to make sure that you actually catch the live. Make sure you follow this one as well. Last but not least, can we knock out the donuts? Please, please, please. It's a daily gift goal. Can we knock out those donuts? PK, did you find that video?
Not yet. I'm trying to find somebody talking about the number of people in New York waiting for their asylum hearing. That's usually faster.
Yeah, you said that you had video of people coming to the border and saying that, oh, I claim asylum, and then they give them a cell phone and tell them to get on the bus.
Yes. Along with all the minors that literally there was like.
Yeah, I don't want you to try to add or take away. I want you just not a tit nor tittle. I want you just to find what you said that you have.
Like I said, I'm trying to find that video, and Google keeps getting scrubbed. So
no, Google isn't getting scrubbed.
If you look
shit up, but no.
I'm not making shit up.
No, shh, PK, I don't want you to talk about it.
I don't need a grown man to shush me. Don't
shushies, bud. Shushies.
You shouldn't say things that aren't true.
Shushies, bud. I want you to go find that video. I don't care about.
If your claim was even true,
I don't care about you adding to it. I don't want to hear additions. I just want the video.
Okay, so if it were even true that they were getting turned away.
No, I need you to either provide the video or
I'm trying to find it.
Hold on. Okay, so you need to stay silent until you find the video, and I'll wait. Or you can sit here and say, "Yeah, I don't have that, so I'm not going to use that." Your choice.
I've seen it.
Okay, that's perfectly fine. Then go find it. Guys, only request up if you're a Trump supporter. We're only looking for some debates. Only request up if you're a Trump supporter. We're only looking for some debates. Let's see if we can get any type of support in here for KP until he can find whatever he's looking for. A lot of people. Okay, so there's people in the box that I'm pretty sure should not be here. So take a look down at the bottom. If you see the gray person, that means you're in the request, you're here, you're ready to debate. So if you see the gray person, that means you're in the request, you're here, you're ready to debate. So take a look down at the bottom of your screen and make sure that if you are not a Trump supporter, you're not in the request. So go ahead and hit that cancel button. If you see a blue and pink person, you're good. But if you see the gray person, you're in the request, you're here, and you're ready to debate. Hi, Tara. Are you a Trump supporter?
I voted for Trump. And yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of things he's done good. Sometimes I think that he can be a little childish, but yeah, voted for Trump.
Okay. Perfect.
And there's some things I do believe in open debate and open talking. Like, I was a big fan of Charlie Kirk. I believe the way he did things with letting people speak.
Charlie Kirk was a coward. All right. Let's
that's your opinion on it.
No, that's a fact. This is a personal experience. He's a coward.
And why do you think that way?
He wouldn't debate me.
He wouldn't debate you?
No, he was scared to debate me.
He had open mics on every campus.
Yeah, PK, shut up. I was literally there. He would not debate me.
Okay. You requested to be debated?
Yes.
I have never been there. All I've seen is
Yeah, I'm
his
just telling you
debates
from
personally.
yeah, I'm telling you, I was in person, saw his, stupid face in person, told him in person that he was a coward and a racist, and he wouldn't debate me
Well, what made you say those things to him?
because he was a coward, he was a racist, and he was a transphobe. He openly hated marginalized communities.
And before telling him these things, did you ask him if he views those things and into any capacity?
I listened to his actual output of the information that he stood on, whether it was from interviews, whether it was from his own show, whether it was his justification of people losing their lives to gun violence, whether it was him talking about 1350, which is a myth, and then saying that Black people are animalistic. I listened to everything that he said. And that's where the premise of him being a racist came from. But the way that he targeted the queer community and transgender people, that's where the premise of him being a transphobe and a homophobe came from.
Okay. Did you watch full videos or did you watch clips
Mhm.
of his videos? I'm
His
not
videos.
asking to be.
No, it's perfectly fine. I actually watched full videos because, again, I was preparing to debate him, so I wanted to know what he actually stood for and what he was about. And so I consumed multiple hours of information from him.
Okay. Well, I mean, if you've based that off of what you've seen, because there's a lot of videos I have not seen. I'll admit that. But there are videos that I have seen, so I'll probably look into it more.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. He literally only debated people that he thought that he could win debates with. He specifically thought that targeting younger people was easier, but then he actively avoided younger people that he knew were up to snuff, i.e. Parker and Dean. He didn't want to actually debate them on a normal basis. But then even when he went across the pond to Cambridge, and he got dog walked by the college students at Cambridge, then he stayed away from them as well. So yeah, no, he not only was
you think he got dog walked by them?
Yeah, he did. Not only did he actually not foster an environment for actual debate, but he was a coward. He was a racist. He was a enemy of the queer community, and I was open and adamant about telling him these things. I said these things before he died. I said it to his face, and I'm still saying them now.
So the only video I could find thus far, and I'll still try to find the one I was talking about, but this one says full shelters cause migrant releases in San Diego. So they're getting on a bus from the shelter.
That's not the video. That's not the video that I want. I want the video proving what you
said. That's what I just said. Hold on.
Either you can find the video proving what you said.
Hold on.
Or you can go ahead and refute that claim.
Hold on just a second. It says U.S. Customs and Border Protection is releasing asylum-seeking migrants to the streets of California's second largest city because the shelters are full.
Okay,
That
I don't care about that.
refutes the claim you made.
I care about the claim
that refutes the claim you made.
PK, what was your
statement? It refutes the claim that you made.
PK, what was your statement?
Claim asylum, get a phone, get on a bus.
You said.
But you're saying that didn't happen. They would turn them.
You said that the actual.
I repeated what I just said.
No, PK, you said that
you saw a video. Button.
You said that you saw a video of people showing up to the country and standing up saying, I claim asylum, and then people gave them a cell phone and then they got on the bus. That's what you said. That's literally your claim. And I said that didn't happen. I said there's a process for claiming asylum, and that's not the process. You said that you saw a video of that exact thing happening, and so I'm saying, okay, I'll accept it. I need that video. So PK, either you go find the video or you admit that you don't have a source for that claim that you just made. I'm fine with either one, but it has to be one of the two.
You're telling me to be a lion or a giraffe. Okay. This shows you're telling me to be a lion or a giraffe.
I'm not going to talk to disingenuous people, TK. I refuse to do that. Now, Tara, I apologize. You and I were speaking. The floor is yours.
Well, I was asking you on what you've seen, your views on things, because I just joined. Honestly, I haven't seen you talk really. Mm-hmm. I just scrolled onto you and saw that you wanted to talk to some people about their views and about you wanted a Trump supporter, so.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the biggest thing that I'm trying to understand now is how anyone can continue to support Donald Trump when he's pulling us into multiple types of wars, including actual war with the possibility of Venezuela, conflict with Syria, the growing tensions that are in place with Russia, China, like all of these things that he said he wasn't going to do. We can talk about the issue with healthcare, the failed immigration process that he's going through, you know, the fact that he leans into all of the racism and phobias, and, you know, which Trump supporters fall in line with that, or the fact that he's just way too old.
There's a lot of stuff that people want to talk about that, honestly, it's good to talk about everything about a person, especially if he's leading the country. How about we start off with the most recent thing, what he just signed, the turning marijuana into a stage,
Call it M drug. Call it M drug.
Oh, M drug. Okay. Turning it into a stage 3, and that way it can be studied more, and more people can use it as a medicine. I'm an epileptic, and I don't have access to it because I live in Indiana. I have tried it, and it took all my seizures away, and I have a lot of seizures, so I have to take a lot of medicine. That is a positive thing that I would say Trump has done for the US. What do you think about that?
I think that Donald Trump is taking credit for something that he didn't do.
What do you mean?
In May 2024, Joseph Robinette Biden actually initiated the process to switch the M drug from a stage 1 to a stage 3 under the Federal Controlled Substance Act. And so now Donald Trump is just taking credit for that process getting going, even though this was put in place by Joseph Robinette Biden and the Biden administration. All Donald Trump is doing is enacting what Biden had already set up and was scheduled to happen.
Okay, I can take a look at that and look it up.
Yeah.
I'm willing to be open to anything.
Yeah,
as long as you're also open to.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I mean, I think that's a great thing because, like, one, legalizing the M drug specifically, when we know that it has certain medical benefits overall. I mean, I know you talk about you having epilepsy, but my grandmother passed away from stage 4 cancer, and
my mama passed away in 2021 actually from cervical cancer.
Yeah, my grandmother in 2020. But she got to the point where she couldn't actually, you know, eat, and she was nauseous all the time. But being able to give her the M drug helped her eat, and also kept her from being nauseous. So it made her last couple of days a lot more easier than it would have been if she didn't have access to it. So the point that I'm trying to get across is I think that understanding the benefits of the M drug and allowing it to be something that is utilized, like, I think it's a positive thing, right? I mean, I live in a state where it is legalized. I mean, that we have dispensaries everywhere. We can gain access for recreational use, and then, you know, people can get it for medical use as well. I think the discrepancy across the country, where you can be in one state and you can legally access it, but in another state it's completely illegal. And then you even have some states where it is illegal, but the police don't care. Like, I think there needs to be a standardization of that. But my point being is that's not something special or unique to Donald Trump. I think he made a big deal of it because of what was happening this week, which was the release of the Epstein files. And so he's done multiple things this week to deflect from the Epstein files.
And what part of the Epstein files? Because honestly, I have not looked at it except for the M drug. That was I was pretty happy about. But I heard they were being released. I saw a few photos, but I haven't looked entirely into it.
Sure, I'll tell you all about it. Give me 2 seconds. Let me thank 2 people really quick. W's in chat for Brandy. Brandy sent a $1 donation saying, it's sad that they just see immigrants as numbers on paper and not real people. I know someone here with work permits who applied for a green card 3 years ago and they're still waiting to be processed. can't even go back home to visit his kids or his family while it's pending. Exactly. And people like the last guy who pretend that, these undocumented immigrants are not people that are like trying to make a better life, and even more so trying to do things the right way, but yet getting pushed back on it. Like, that's absolutely gross. W's in the chat for Jennifer for the $2 donation, saying CPB1, the app that was used by migrants to schedule appointments at designated ports of entry on the southern border to request asylum, though its use for the purpose has faced changes. Yeah, CPB1 was the application that was implemented and then shut down by the Trump administration, and now it's still open, but they've changed it around. It's a whole different thing. But W's in the chat for Jennifer. Guys, if anyone else would like to support the live, you can do so. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. Pay links in the link tree in the bio. Santana speaks for you. Santana speaks for you is the best way to support the live. Everything's accepted. Anything's appreciated. If you're over on the YouTube, you can send a super chat, and I will read that out. All right. As far as the Trump administration and what they did with the Epstein files, the actual bill was passed saying that the Trump administration had 30 days to release the Epstein files, right?
I do remember there was a bill. Yes.
Okay. So after the 30 days, which was Friday, yesterday was the deadline for the Trump administration to release the Epstein files, and the bill said that they were supposed to release the files in whole. And what the Trump administration actually did was only release less than 1% of the actual total amounts of files, even though the law said that, no, it's the law. You said not a bill, a law. Well, yeah, it was a bill signed in law. I'm sorry if I said it like that or whatever. It's the law. Literally, and they released less than 1% of the actual Epstein files. And so then with also releasing less than 1% when they were supposed to release 100% of it, they also redacted large amounts of that information that was supposed to be released. There was documents where there's 120, 140 plus pages, and it was completely redacted from start to finish. Like, there was not even a comma, a period, exclamation point, nothing on the page. It was just completely black. So for them supposedly to have been putting out information that was going to create transparency, they didn't do that at all.
Well, do you think they're going to continue to let it out over time?
I think that they're actively trying to ensure that the Epstein files are not released because people directly connected with the Trump administration, including Donald Trump himself, have direct connections and they're implicated within the files. Donald Trump names was scrubbed from the Epstein file. The FBI allocated, there was a report that came out, the FBI allocated billions of dollars to scrubbing Trump name from the Epstein files. And even after they released some of the documents, because there was a website, yesterday they went back and they pulled certain pictures and information off that had Donald Trump connected with it. So anything that they had originally let slip through the cracks that had Donald Trump connected, they went less than 24 hours later and removed it.
Okay. Well, you're pretty well versed. I'll give you that. How about I tell you my views on what I do like about Donald Trump and what I don't?
Would you like to address that and let me know what are your thoughts on that? Because again, like Donald Trump ran on releasing that, and now it seems like he's trying to protect not only Epstein, but the other abusers.
In my personal opinion, I think there is certain things that are blacked out for privacy reasons on certain people. Like, say, there was somebody who was hurt because of the event, like a victim is what I mean. And it needed to black out a few things about that. If there's some of that in there, then I find that to be okay.
Yeah, the only issue with that,
on the fact that it happened, saying, "Oh, this happened to this person," you can tell that something really bad happened, and whoever did it, they can name that. But I feel the victims always should, have their security.
Yeah, the only issue with that is that this was an actual law that demanded that information be released. So there's a difference between wanting to redact certain information versus the requirements under the law. But then you also combine that with the survivors coming out and actively demanding that the information be released. Like even the survivors wanted an audit of the information that was set to be released because there were rumblings from even Jeffrey Epstein's brother saying that the information that had been handed over to the Trump administration was scrubbed. And to that point, I wanted to correct something I said. I said billions. I meant, I looked it up. It was actually close to $1 million that was utilized to pay for overtime to scrub Trump name from the FBI files. But again, the point being is that.
Do you know who?
What do you mean?
It was was it the FBI who scrubbed the names, CIA, or it was the FBI themselves? And they were given $1 million to do it?
That's how much it costs in overtime work for FBI agents that were assigned to the task.
Was it the FBI who reported it?
Yeah, there's leaks reporting the information. There's reports on Donald Trump being updated by Pam Bondi, his head of Justice Department, who told him in May that his name, thank you for that, his name was all over the Epstein files. And then from that point, they've been allocated FBI resources and agents to scrub the name. Like this is something that's been happening for months. And this comes from like watchdogs and internal leaks from the FBI specifically.
Okay. Well, my opinion is that I'll have to go look it all up myself and fact check it all. And if Trump is in there on a bad notice and everything is true, then I'll have a more negative thought process of him, obviously.
Do you think with the history of Donald Trump and what he has done in his past and how he's directly connected, you don't think that the premise of him being connected with the Epstein files is something that is within the realm of reality?
There's a lot of people who are connected to the Epstein files, not just Trump.
I agree, but we should hold all those people accountable, not just Trump, and especially Trump, because he's the president of the United States. But my point being, with his history, whether we talk about the fact that he has been civilly held liable for SA, we can talk about the fact that he has 26 credible counts of SA, or we can talk about the fact that he actually raped his ex-wife, pulling out her hair, and then the next day saying, asking the question, did you enjoy it? He's openly objectified women and talking about how he barged into the Miss Teen USA pageants. He talked about how him and Jeffrey Epstein share similar tastes in women, except Epstein likes him a little bit on the younger side. He's talked about like how if his daughter wasn't his daughter, then he will be dating her. Like he even said that he and his daughter had sex in common. He had the Access Hollywood tape where he said that you can grab women by the P word. Like all of these things speak to who he is.
Where would that video be? Because I think there's a lot of exaggerated things.
Which video?
And a lot of things taken out of context.
Which video? I said a lot of different things. He's been like all of these have been him openly admitting to all of them.
How about the last one about his daughter?
About him and his daughter having sex in common?
I thought you meant having sex.
No.
I'm like, holy shit, that would have been bad.
No, he was on the Wendy Williams show, and he was doing an interview, or was it The View? I could have sworn it was the Wendy Williams show. Hold on one second. Let's see. Yeah, it was the Wendy Williams show. Here it is. One second.
I appreciate it. To have politics mixed with the movies, and no, not too much. First of all, I like her very much. I think she's a really nice woman. I thought it was a little unusual to have politics mixed with the movies, and it's been done before, I guess, a little bit, but it was a little bit unusual. Yeah. But I do like her. I think she's terrific.
We want to know a little bit more about you guys. So we play this game here. It's called Fave 5. I'll ask the question. Ivanka, you answer first, and then Dad, you answer also. Okay, Ivanka, what's the favorite thing you have in common with your father?
Either real estate or golf.
Donald, with your daughter?
Well, I was going to say sex, but I can't relate that.
Well, that wasn't right.
Yeah. He's been open about comments like
Did
that.
he mean sex or did he mean
He said
as
sex.
in? I know he said sex. Was he meaning sex or was he meaning the sex like a male or female?
He was saying sex.
Okay. Well,
And
damn.
this is from 9 years ago, before Donald Trump was in office, before he started to target transgender people. So even the idea around, him talking about sex and gender or whatever, like that wasn't even something that was in his preview.
I noticed a lot of people are saying that I'm laughing it off. I'm laughing because I'm like, damn, like
Well,
I'm hearing this stuff.
I think a lot of people are a little bit disenchanted by not how you're like, oh, okay, well, if he said this, then I need to go back and look it up, or does this mean this or that? Like a lot of people get a little bit disheartened because we share stuff with people that support Donald Trump, and instead of actually engaging in the stuff, a lot of times they either deny it or they look for ways to justify it, and that's the issue that people have.
No, I'm a fact checker. I hear things, but I will go back and fact check it because I'm not going to believe everything I hear, obviously. Mm-hmm. But I like hearing and listening to people and their opinions, and I'm not going to say, oh, I like this person no matter whatever flaws he has. I want this person. I'm not that type. Okay. I will make sure that, okay, this person knows how to lead. This is my view of Donald Trump right now. Okay. He's a businessman, obviously. Mm-hmm. He's got business. He knows how to run businesses, and that we need help as a country with our money. We're in debt majorly, and we need to get out of debt. Mm-hmm. So it's like a country is like a business in a way. Mm. That was one of my main reasons that I did vote for him, because of our economic status. And I felt that he could do it better because he is a businessman, and that he said some things that I believed were good, Okay. I am a Christian.
Well, hold on. I don't want to go too far. Hold on. I don't want to go too far. I want to talk about that businessman aspect. Okay. Let me just thank a couple of people really quick. W's in chat for Dean, who sent a $2 donation saying, if doing immigration if doing immigration the right way matters, why cancel dozens of citizenship ceremonies where all had been doing things right? Exactly. And they showed up to other ceremonies in order to arrest people. W's in the chat for Ange for the $3 donation saying, ask Tara to search 1332-16 in the Epstein files and read the unredacted version. You can find it all over TikTok. She won't read it, but anything else she really wants proof. I'm going to go look that one up, 1332-16. I'm going to definitely go look that up.
I appreciate it.
Couple of things. The United States government is not a business. If it were a business, then it would be for profit, but the United States government cannot carry profit over year when it comes to our budget. So we're not a business. And even if we were a business, then businesses adhere to their CEO and their board of directors and then their stockholders. The United States government is supposed to do the good for the will of the people, regardless of their financial status. So the premise that people say the United States government is a business it's a false equivalent. People just want to think that it's a business because they don't really know how else to equate it. So that part's not true. But even if it were a business, Donald Trump is a failed businessman, right? You can talk about the amount of money that he has, but when it comes to what he inherited, $415 million from his dad, Fred, if he would have just taken that $415 million and invested it in the stock market and never tried to do anything, never tried to run any businesses, never came down the golden escalator, if he would just went to a beach and hung out, he would be richer today than he is. You can talk about all the bankruptcies, including like bankrupting casinos, the Taj Mahal, but also you can talk about failed business like Trump Water, Trump Steak, Trump the board game, Trump Vodka, Trump Knives, Trump University, all of the actual failed businesses. He's a hell of a marketer. because he knows his brand and his name has brand recognitions. But as far as running businesses, he's failed. And even when you talk about the business of the country, he's added more debt to the United States debt than any other president in modern U.S. history. So even in that same premise, he's added more to it than any other president.
Where would you say that? Because from what I've seen, it was Biden who added more debt than any U.S. president.
No,
because right now we're actually, the stocks and everything, if you look at them, they're starting to rise. We also are getting tariffs. The tariffs are a good thing because it's bringing in money to the American people.
They're not. The tariffs aren't a good thing, and they're not bringing in money. The stock market is completely separate than the economy. You can look at the amount that was added. There was $4 trillion added to the debt by Biden, $8 trillion added to the debt by Trump. And even if you remove the amount of COVID spending, there was still over $4.4 trillion added by Trump, where there was like 3.2 or 2.2 or something like that trillion added by Biden. And that was his first term versus now. But with the passing of the big beautiful bill, another $4 trillion has been added. So Donald Trump, through his tax cuts for the millionaires and billionaires, has added more to our overall debt. But when you talk about like tariffs and you talk about like, what's happening, question for you, what's a tariff?
A tariff is whenever they charge more for other countries to export their goods to our country.
You didn't say that right. I kind of think that that's not necessarily accurate. I see there's something there, kind of, but that's not accurate as far as what it is. Keep it simple for me. Who pays the tariffs in the end?
People buy goods. So obviously, yes, we buy goods. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, yes, it would cause the person who is selling the item to raise their money to match the tariff. Okay, mm-hmm. I see that.
Yeah. So how is that a good thing to raise prices on United States citizens?
He's taking out taxes. What are they called? The income tax out of the checks. Did you not? There's two separate taxes.
Are you referring to him in the premise of no tax on tips, no tax on overtime?
There's that one, and then there's a federal one.
There's no federal.
He said that the IRS is going to be taken down.
Oh, you mean him getting rid of the IRS and removing taxes and replacing it with tariffs? That's what you're referring to?
Yes.
Okay. One, that hasn't happened. Two, if that happens, it would destroy the country. The amount of money that is collected by tariffs, even if the tariffs that we currently have projected out comes over to $320 billion a year in tariffs. But with tax revenue, we collect 30 or 40 trillion dollars a year with tax revenue. So like, it's not even close. It would literally destroy the country.
Wouldn't that put $300 trillion back into American pockets?
No, it's not about putting money back into the American pockets. It's about the amount of money what is taxes collected for?
It's to help the country run, basically.
Right. It's to fund the actual budgets. Right. It's to fund the budgets of the country. And so if you switch to a premise as far as when you're going based off of revenue generated from tariffs, one, it's disproportional because the amount of people that use their income as consumers is disproportionately represented by middle and lower class versus the top 1%. So the burden is shifted off of the top 1% as far as paying taxes to everyday people who buy everyday items and will be tax heavier. So that's going to be negatively impacting when it comes to, who has to pay this. But again, the amounts don't equate. So you look at the budgets that we have allocated, the programs that we have allocated, like the things that the federal government is in charge of, and their budget would be completely slashed.
If the top 1% was to be taxed more or like get more money out of them, I believe that would harm the middle and lower class, because the top 1%, what they generally do is they have the corporation, say Amazon, okay? Big corporation, right? And the guy, he's a big billionaire and everything.
You're talking about Jeff Bezos?
Yeah, I know Jeff Bezos, yeah. Anyways, he employs everybody under him.
Mm-hmm.
All of his, and that's all middle class and under, okay?
Mm-hmm.
The 1%, his company, if it gets taxed heavily, then he's going to have to make up for that amount of money,
Mm-hmm.
which could cut wages
Mm-hmm.
and living expenses, and it would get harder.
Mm-hmm. That's not true.
How is it not true?
So when it comes to the taxes, there's multiple forms of taxes, right? There's personal taxes, there's corporate taxes. Increasing corporate taxes or even personal taxes wouldn't be something that's massively harmful at all, right? Just for example, Jeff Bezos is worth $231 billion.
Mm-hmm.
$231 billion. Do you know how much is estimated that he pays in taxes every year?
No, I do not.
About 2.7 billion.
Okay.
Right? So that's less than 3%, right? But then even when you talk about the amount, actually it says it's less than 3%, but even when you talk about the actual amount of write-offs, loopholes, things like that, it's projected that he pays a tax rate than average everyday Americans like you and myself. So what actually happens is, even though Jeff Bezos is vastly more wealthy than you and I, per percentage, we pay more in taxes than him already, right?
Yeah.
But then when you talk about the ultra wealthy and like these corporations and things like that, that actually pay taxes. Do you know when we had the strongest middle class in United States history?
Was it around the 6th? No.
It was after the Great Depression.
Yeah, it was the Great Depression.
It was after the Great Depression, after World War II, when the corporate tax rate was in the 90s. And when we closed the loopholes on millionaires and billionaires, and it increased and made the strongest middle class in United States history. So the point being is that we have a history of engaging when it comes to targeting the ultra wealthy, which allows the taxation to be distributed and allows people to actually grow. The premise that if you tax corporations more, then they're going to, reduce the actual unemployment and all this other stuff. That's not true, because unemployment is already spiking and they already have tax cuts. If you want to actually incentivize companies, then you give them incentives, tax incentives related to hiring and hiring practices. That's how Joe Biden was able to increase manufacturing jobs under his administration, by actually implementing legislations like the CHIPS and Science Act that gave tax incentives to people who created or allocated headcount funds to the additional resources or additional people hired. All I'm saying is terrorist isn't
yeah, I understand. I'm hearing you out and everything, and this is what I've been told. Okay, I'm telling you what I've been told. You're telling me what you've been told, and a lot of what you've been told makes sense.
Well, I'm not telling you what I've been told. I'm telling you what the numbers bear out to, and like I can prove everything.
If the numbers are accurate and everything, then it does make sense. Okay. And I can go look that up for the numbers myself, and I can make my own verification on it and all of that.
Let me read 2 quick things off, and then I want to ask you, or 3 quick things off, but I want to ask you something super specific about Donald Trump and what he's doing with the allocation of funds. W's in the chat for Yarda, who sent a $5 donation saying, if we are in debt, why is he giving Argentina our money he should be protecting us and giving money and to food pantries and homeless people or unhoused people. Absolutely. But that's not what they're about. They don't really care about protecting United States citizens. So it makes sense why funds are going to Argentina. W's in the chat for Emily for the $2 donation saying, this guest Tara is ridiculous. She claims to be a fact checker and she doesn't believe what she hears. But but we can obviously see that she lied. That you for all your work and educating the uneducated. Ooh, that was a mouthful. I apologize. W's in the chat for Emily.
I don't
thank
understand
you for the two.
that.
And W's in the chat for Rad, who has the sent a $2 super chat to say Trump spent $100 to $750 on taxes for decades. For decades he paid less than $700 a year in taxes, and that is verified by his tax returns that were finally released. Guys, if anyone else would like to support the live, you can do so. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. All the pay links and link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks for You. Santana Speaks for You is the best way to support the live. Everything's accepted, anything's appreciated. Also, guys, if we can knock out the little kissy hearts, that would be awesome. I don't know if we can knock them out, but if we can somehow knock those kissy hearts out, it'll be awesome. All right, question I have for you. Have you heard about the 1776 military funds?
No, I have not.
Okay. So Trump went on national TV last week or this past week or whatever, and said that he has given Christmas bonuses to our military members, right? He called them 1776 dividends or whatever, right? Okay. Claiming that he is doing something positive for the military and giving them money, right? Because of a bonus saying that they earned it, right?
Okay.
So one, how do you feel about giving our U.S. military members a bonus or warrior dividends for what they're doing?
I think giving them a bonus would be fun. Lots of people get bonuses.
I agree.
I mean,
I agree.
It's a good thing.
Yeah, like I literally agree. I think that taking care of our men and women in uniform is absolutely a positive thing. How do you feel about someone when they have you ever heard of the term stolen valor?
Yes, I've heard of it.
Okay, stolen valor is like when someone pretends to be a member of the military and claim to like honor or whatever, and they didn't serve. And we can agree like that's a bad thing, right?
Very much.
Okay, so in the same premise, like we would agree that people lying when it comes to what they have or have not done to or with our military is a bad thing as well, right?
Yes.
Okay. Donald Trump lied about where the money came from and why the money was actually allocated. So the 1776 warrior dividends that he claimed was bonuses, money that was given to the U.S. Military, he claimed that this was something positive that they were doing, and he claimed this off the heels of signing the new they signed the new agreement for the military budget for the upcoming year. Donald Trump said like all of this was because he loves our military members, he protects our military members, and he wants to do something to help our military members. When actuality is, these were already funds that were allocated to our military members, and this was supposed to be, this was from a budget for housing for military members, right? And the actual budget had not been for, in recent years, enough because, of course, housing prices have skyrocketed, and there's been multiple complaints saying like, hey, even though we're allocating money for our military members, this isn't enough. And so instead of them correcting that actual budget and making sure that our military members had that money so they can have housing, they completely took all the money out. They just divided it and then shipped it out to military members, saying that they had given them some type of bonus, where really they're taking money from a budget that was already allocated and then giving people less than they would or supposed to get from the designated budget. So with that being said, how do you feel about Donald Trump actually shifting money away from allocated things for the military and then giving them less than what they deserve or they're owed, and then lying about where it came from?
Did he openly lie about it?
Yes.
I'm not defending. I'm
Yes.
just asking if he openly. Okay.
Because he said that this was actual bonuses that they came up with and they were going to give, and it's not. It's literally money that they took from a designated budget.
Okay. So the budget was meant for something else, and they took it and gave it under the premise that it's actually this. So you're saying he said, "Oh, look at what I did."
Yeah. So
No
basically, just to make it simple, right? Let's say you live with me, and you're supposed to be giving me $100 a month for rent, but for the last month or for the last year, you've only been giving me $50, not $100. And then instead of you actually giving me the money for rent or giving me the additional cost, the additional $50 that you owe me, you take the $50 that you've been giving me for rent, and then you buy like Burger King gift certificates, or you buy a $50 Visa gift card, and you say, hey, here's a $50 Visa gift card that I'm giving you for food for the house, right? So he took the money that was already supposed to be allocated for one specific reason, but he was giving less than the amount. He repurposed it and said it was for something else. And so it's still less than in both ways now.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
How do you feel about Donald Trump lying about that?
I don't like it. And I will look up his saying it, the whole thing, both sides. And people who saying that I'm not going to look it up, I am going to look it up, because I'm not a person who just believes everything I see right away. And honestly, I don't know why people are saying that. I really do want to know.
Trump supporters lie about what they say they're going to do.
Trump got voted in, okay? And I've noticed a few things that I like and I don't like. And if things that I do like is under a different premise, then it could make me waver, okay? And what's bad about that? Also, if there's a lot of evidence against the other side, the Democratic, I can do that. I can say, no, I don't want that. Now, Biden, I felt that he wasn't really running the country as well for 4 years.
How so?
Because, I mean, things got more costly. Gas went straight up. I think we should be using our own gas. I'm sorry?
Why did things go up?
Why did things go up? And then honestly, I do not know why the economy went up. There was a lot of spending.
Shouldn't you actually just wouldn't it be more beneficial to figure out why these things happen versus just assigning them to whoever's in power?
Well, whoever's in power can make a change.
How so? How does the president directly impact gas prices?
Well, for one, Biden they decided not to use our own fuel.
That's not
our
true.
Own oil.
It's not true.
What do you mean it's not true?
It's not true.
They decided to pump it instead of using our own.
That's not true. The Biden administration, when you can talk about drilling, the Biden administration drilled the most in the history of the world, more oil drilled from under the Biden administration, especially on federal lands, than any other, not only administration, but any other country within U.S. or within world history. But when you talk about the type of oil that is produced from the United States in our area, the ability for us to refine and use that oil is not something that we actually have here. So a lot of times what we do is just we sell our oil internationally, and then we still purchase oil internationally, where it's cheaper for them to actually refine the oil needed in order to put it in for gas. So like even the amount of oil that we pump on US land, we don't have the capability to refine that and use it in-house. Now, what we did have capability, refineries, like including our largest refinery that was located in Texas, 16 of our refineries were sold off, including our largest refinery that was in Texas under the Trump administration. And their project was spearheaded by Jared Kushner, who was Donald Trump's son-in-law. And they sold these refineries to the Saudis.
Okay. What did the Saudis do in response? Like, what did they give us?
They purchased the refineries.
Okay.
The point that I'm trying to make is that Donald Trump set us up already for a downfall when it came to the Biden administration being able to refine oil. But even more than that, the president doesn't have direct control over gas prices. But Donald Trump did more to harm the gas prices under Joe Biden than Joe Biden did at all.
Obama actually did a lot of bad things too. I mean, the
gas
Obamacare
prices were never gas prices were never as low under the Trump administration as they were under the Biden administration. Not one point ever.
Under the Trump administration, they were under. I was paying $4 a gallon, and I'm in Indiana.
Sure, that's fine. If you go back and look at national gas prices and you compare the average gas prices for the country for the entire term of the Obama administration, where they got down low, versus to the entire term of where they were for Trump administration, Trump never broke the lower or had lower gas prices than Barack Obama at any point. Joseph Robinette Biden had lower gas prices than Donald Trump at certain points. And currently, when he handed off the economy to Trump, where the gas prices were prior to Trump coming in office at the end of the Biden administration to where they are now, they were lower.
They weren't that lower.
They were still lower.
Throughout the 4 years, it took them 4 years, and they steadily rised, okay, to what they were. I'd say 2 years into the middle of it.
Why?
Under the Biden administration?
Mm-hmm. Why were gas prices? I sat here and said that Donald Trump had more impacts on raising gas prices under the Trump administration. I'm sorry, Donald Trump had more impacts to raise gas prices under the Biden administration than Joseph Robinette Biden did. So would you like to ask why with that claim, or like do you just accept
I don't see why you're saying that, because Trump had lower prices. I mean, I lived it. And the fact is that I couldn't afford groceries like I could when Trump was in office.
Donald Trump had more impact on grocery prices as well than Joseph Robinette Biden. So this is why. Let me explain to you why. Like you make these claims and you don't know why things were the way that they were, but I keep telling you the impacts came from Trump more than Biden. So let's run through it really quick. Have you ever heard of OPEC?
No.
OPEC is the international group that controls the production of oil, and it's like the largest seller of oil in the world, right?
Okay.
They're the ones that really set the price of oil per gallon, or I'm sorry, oil per barrel, and they sell to the different countries. Back in 2020, when we were having the pandemic, Donald Trump went to OPEC because OPEC and told them that he wanted them to cut production of oil because things were shut down and Donald Trump's oil-bearing buddies were losing money. And OPEC said, no, we're not going to cut production. We're going to keep producing at the amount that we're producing. And, when the world was shut down, supply was high, demand was low. So that dropped the actual cost, right? And Donald Trump threatened OPEC and said, hey, if you don't cut the actual cost of oil production, then we're going to pull our military support from Saudi Arabia in the Middle East, right? And so Donald Trump, while telling us that, COVID was a 2-week thing and it was going to go away in 2 weeks, forced the hand of OPEC to cut a 2-year deal where they cut production, right? And so when they cut production of the actual oil, we know that the shutdowns didn't last for 2 years, it lasts for months. And so when we opened back up towards the end of the year, people started driving and there was a less amount of oil. And OPEC realized that because they had to raise prices, right? I mean, you go and the inverse, when there's more people demanding and less supply, then prices rise. And OPEC said, oh, these people are paying for these high gas prices, even though like they used to pay lower gas prices. So we're going to keep charging them at these high prices. All right. So these deals were made under the Trump administration. At the same time, going back to what I told you, like Jared Kushner, Donald Trump's son-in-law, helps shepherd in the sale of 16 of our oil refineries. Well, what happened when Joe Biden took over, Joe Biden came in and said to OPEC, like, hey, you guys are charging high prices for gas, but the country's open. We need you to start pumping more. But they already had that 2-year agreement put in place. And it was like, nope, we're not going to pump more. We already have this. And so Joe Biden didn't want Americans to keep paying high prices for gas. So what he did was took the United States oil reserve and flooded the market, sold all of our oil reserve, which with flooding the market, forced OPEC to actually cut the prices of their oil per barrel, right? Because again, once you have more supply, then the price goes down, right?
Yeah.
And so once he sold those actual the reserve from the United States, he actually bought all of the oil back, but he bought it back at a lower rate. So he flooded the market, forced the actual cost of oil per barrel to be reduced by OPEC, and then bought our entire supply back at a cheaper rate. So again, when you saw the gas prices going up under the Biden administration, that's because Donald Trump had multiple deals that were cut, and OPEC continued to be greedy even after the pandemic was officially over. And the only reason the prices started to drop is because of what Joseph Robinette Biden did.
Okay. The Trump administration at the end during the pandemic, how would you say they handled the pandemic?
We can talk about that in a second, but would you like to address what I just said about like the gas prices and
the gas
how
prices
Donald Trump's
and
having
everything?
more negative impacts on it than Joe Biden did?
All I know is what I have lived through and done. If Trump really did that, then I'll have to look at how he actually strategizes on running the country, and if it's a positive thing or a negative thing, then it will change my opinion. I feel like this doing it like that could either be because of the pandemic, or like you said, it could be because they're losing profit in his own company. Is that what you were saying? His own? I thought you said the OPEC
friends, that his billionaire buddies were saying that they're losing money, and so they wanted him to do something. Give me 2 seconds. I got a couple of thank yous that I have to read, and then I have a quick question for the chat. W's in the chat for Gray. Gray sent a $3 donation saying, I appreciate Tara's openness. Thank you for educating her. Thank you so much, Gray, for the 3. W's in the chat for Priscilla. Priscilla sent a $1 donation saying, and she looked things up. When did she start? W's in the chat for Priscilla. W's in the chat for Emily for the $2 donation saying, Jesus Christ, if Tara says, I don't believe everything I hear, I will rip my ears off. Obviously, it's obviously a lie. She sounds like Fox News patriot. W's in the chat for Cullen for the $1.99 super chat to say facts beat feelings every time. W's in the chat for all the donors, guys. If anyone else would like to support the live, you can do so. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. All the pay links and link tree in the bio. Santana speaks for you. Santana speaks for you is the best way to support the live. Everything's accepted. Anything's appreciated. If you're over on the YouTube, you can send a super chat, and I will read that out. Chat. I saw people saying this in the comments, so I'll leave it up to you guys. It's your decision whether we do it or not, but I saw people spamming kick fund. Now I'm enjoying the conversation overall, and I can keep talking to it because we got other things to talk about, but I'll never deny when you guys sit there and say it. So I'm going to leave it up to you. Put a 3 in the chat if you guys want to do a kick fund. Put a 5 in the chat if you want to keep talking. 3 in the chat if you want to start a kick fund. 5 in the chat if you want to keep talking. 3 in the chat if you want to start a kick fund. 5 in the chat if you want to keep talking. Thank you for the cake.
It's a nice cake.
It's still saying 3s. I see a lot of 5s, but it's saying the most sent has been 3s. All right, guys. We'll keep talking into this point, but you guys know how it goes. It's $100 kick fund. So if you guys want to actually do a kick, we do a total of $100 to the pay links. Santana speaks for you, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. If we get a total of $100 towards the kick fund, then we will kick. But until then, we will continue to have this conversation. Now, you were asking the question. You said, how do I feel the Trump administration actually did with the handle the pandemic?
Yes, the pandemic. If say you were in charge and something disastrous comes out like that, how would you feel that you would handle the pandemic?
Yeah, I think that I would actually handle the pandemic in multiple different ways. I would actually continue to listen to the experts, right? The problem that I have with the Trump administration is not only did they dismantle the pandemic relief team, right? I mean, the Obama administration left an actual playbook in place in order to ensure that if there were another pandemic, because, you know, the Obama administration dealt with Ebola, and Donald Trump completely dismantled the playbook and the team that was in place to deal with like global pandemics. He also knew about COVID in 2019, right?
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't look at YouTube. Sorry. So people in the chat saying they're seeing 5s on the screen at first. I don't know if it was the first thing that popped up, but the majority of the number sent was 3. And then after that, it was 5. I guess the one thing that I will tell people is, because I saw people putting like multiple 5s or whatever, in order for it to register over on TikTok, and I didn't look at YouTube, but the only way that it registers is if you actually put the number one time. So if you put like 5s, a bunch of 5s or whatever, then it won't actually register. But the point being, that's what we saw at first. And like, again, we'll continue to talk unless you guys get annoyed and you want to kick her. I mean, if you guys don't want to do the kick fund, I'm good with that, but like, it's up to you. But
I'm just looking for information. I'm trying to, you know, talk to people.
You're fine.
Get out, but because
fine.
lately,
I mean, I'm good with it. It's just like I said, I don't like to ignore my chat, and they said it multiple times, and that's why I leave it up to them. But that's perfectly fine. The point that I'm making is Donald Trump knew about COVID in October of 2019, but then in January and February, and even in March, Donald Trump actually denied the implications of COVID. In 2019, when he was talking to Bob Woodward, he talked about how deadly it was going to be. But then in March of 2020, he was saying that, oh, it's just like like the flu, and it's going to go away in 2 weeks. And he held super spreader events. Herman Cain specifically lost his life from Donald Trump holding his super spreader event, and he openly railed. Yeah, super spreader, meaning that he got a bunch of people together outside of the guidelines of what was being recommended by the CDC and the WHO, and it caused like massive spikes and outbreaks of COVID. So that was a super spreader event.
Where was? Are you saying that he did it on purpose, or
he flaunted in the face of the experts who said that we needed to social distance and not get together in massive groups?
I don't remember that. I don't recall that. I really don't.
He held multiple rallies, including an event where Herman Cain, who was a Republican, someone who formerly has run for president under the Republican Party as a Black man, and he ended up catching COVID and dying after attending one of Donald Trump's events.
And it was in like 2019?
That was in 2020.
2020? Okay. And all the people told everybody to lock up. And what about these flu shots?
What about the flu shots?
We don't really need flu shots right now. Or not flu shots, I'm sorry, COVID shots. I said flu. COVID shots. They were by professionals saying everybody's got to get this COVID shot. Everybody's got to get this COVID shot. It turns out the COVID shot has all kinds of stuff in it.
That's not true.
It causes a lot of kids, and I have seen this personally. I have seen it personally. Kids who got it. There was a mother. I went to a beach. A mother said she gave her kid a COVID shot. About a month later, he was autistic, severely autistic.
Yeah, that's absolutely not true. I'm going to stop you right there because you're saying stuff that not only is not true, now you're getting into stuff that's harmful. That's absolutely not true. The COVID vaccine does not lead to autism. That's not true.
What about all the data and statistics on it?
What data and statistics have you been shown that says that the COVID vaccination leads to autism?
It's the what's called the vaccines. Vaccines
sure.
do.
What data and information have you seen said that the COVID vaccination leads to autism?
JFK Jr. has been doing the Make America Healthy Again. He's been battling that.
And I don't care about JFK Jr., who is not a certified doctor. He has no type of history within healthcare. I would like to see any type of data or studies, anything proven that the COVID vaccination leads to. You would just go look that up and you would tell me your source, like if it's with the CDC or NIH, and you would tell me the title of the study that said that the vaccination is directly linked to autism.
Okay.
So while you do that, I'm going to thank a couple of people. W's in the chat for Lincoln. Lincoln said a $5 donation saying probably won't be here to watch much of this stream since I'm having Christmas party, but I thought I would stop by and say hi. Lincoln, thank you so much for the love and support, and hope you really enjoyed the Christmas party. You're fucking awesome. W's in the chat for W's in the chat for Susan, who sent a $5 donation saying, Tara W, take notes. Do read. Your vote is private. I agree. Absolutely agree. How to partner. W's in the chat for Amanda, who sent $5 saying kick fund donation. If I have to hear, I'll look that up one more time. I'll put this crochet hook in my ears. Light and love. W's in the chat for Amanda. So it looks like we have $5 that goes towards the kick fund. W's in the chat for hold on, is this the Amanda again, who sent $20 towards the kick fund and said kick fund, special education teacher of 10 years. The minute that she said anything about vaccinations leading to autism, I'm done. You don't develop autism in a month. This woman is harmful with misinformation. That's why I said I had to call that out immediately. That's absolutely not true. That's $25 towards the kick fund. And then fuck it. Wow, did she leave? I'm sorry, I didn't even look up, but she was about to get kicked anyway because fucking Des sent a $100 donation saying I can't. She's a human Facebook meme of misinformation. So Des had just sent $100 to kick her. She was about to get kicked anyway. Holy shit. W's in the chat for Des for the $100 donor. Look, and holy shit, she's already gone. She just got flagged for misinformation. And she just got flagged for misinformation. Like that shit was just like what I genuinely mean this. Like, why do people even say the stuff that they say? Like, what the fuck is even happening? Who would even think to say some stuff like that? And even TikTok's like, nah. Like, and that's why I immediately had to hop in and say, like, that's not true. Sometimes I like to let them just kind of talk so they can walk themselves into like some BS and so I can use it. But then when they say things that are like just openly harmful and not true, like you gotta fucking call that out. You gotta call that out. W's in the chat for Jolts, who sent a $2 super chat to say she's listening and not combative. Keep teaching. I would have, but then she went down the misinformation highway and it just became a thing. W's in the chat though for all the donos. If anyone else likes to support the live, you can do so. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, pay links and link tree in the bio. Santana speaks for you. Santana speaks for you is the best way to support the live. everything's accepted, anything's appreciated. If you're over on the YouTube, you can send a super chat and I will read that out. Only request up if you're a Trump supporter. Only request up if you're a Trump supporter. We're only looking for some debates. Let's see if we can get a few more people. I'm trying to hold on, but my head is starting to hurt just a little bit more again. So I don't know how much longer I'm going to be hanging out, to be honest. But I'll try to get to some more people. Scotty, are you a Trump supporter?
Like 5, 6, 7, 8.
Scotty, are you a Trump supporter?
$900.
Okay.
Over $900.
She was exhausting. I have a problem when people are like, oh, I heard this, I heard that, I heard this, I heard that. Yeah, I do hydrate, right? I drink a gallon of water every day. So like I hydrate. I don't know. I think it's just when I don't get enough sleep. Like I fuck myself over, and I think that might have been the case. I think that's why I woke up like that. I don't know about the patience of a saint. Yeah, I know I already kicked her. Why do they keep sending me violations about her spreading misinformation? I know. Magnesium supplements. I used to take magnesium. I haven't done that in a while. Maybe I need to get back to taking magnesium. Miss Tenjin, are you a Trump supporter?
No, I'm not. I don't know what happened there. I'm not a Trump supporter. Okay. Please put me down.
I got you. No worries.
Thank you.
What works? Magnesium? Okay. All right. Looks like the box clear. It's clear. Coffee or chocolate will help. I don't know. I had 2 cups of coffee this morning. I always drink coffee. I don't know. Anyway, it looks like the box is clear at the moment. I think I'm gonna call it here because I was planning on doing like a shorter live anyway because I was gonna come back later. But I think I'll just call it. But put icy hot on your temples. You trying to set me up? No. Why would I put icy hot on my temples? That sounds like a setup. Let's yeah, we're gonna go ahead and go. We'll call it. You might see me around later. I might go hang out with some of my friends. I might come back later and go live or do something, but yeah, we're gonna call it here. W's in the chat for Nikki for the $2 donation saying when she mentioned Wormhead Kennedy, yeah, that was absolutely a mess. W's in the chat for Cat for the $10 donation said go close your eyes. I'm calling your mom. I'm not scared of my mom. I don't know. I took a nap. I'm not great with sleeping, so there's that. Anyway, guys, yeah, I'll probably be back on later, or I might go hang out with some friends, and so you guys will see me around these TikTok streets. I might even go MAGA hunting this evening. I'm not exactly sure, so, but I'll be around. So that, yeah, D-Lo got it. That's who I am scared of. But yeah, let's go ahead and go. Let's there are 300 something people over on YouTube, guys. Before you leave, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. If you hit that thumbs up button, it'll help boost the actual algorithm of the live. Also, if you're here on YouTube, make sure you hit that follow button. I'm sorry, if you're here on TikTok, hit that follow button. If you're over on YouTube, hit that follow button as well. I think Dean's live, so go raid Dean for me. Santana raid both on YouTube and TikTok. I'll probably go stop in with him a little bit later or some point and go hang out with him. So go over Santana raid to Dean, show him some love. Spam Santana raid. I love you guys. See you later. Let's get out of here.
You stepped in the box. Now you're in the ring. Ain't no hugs here. You better take your best swing. Mike Hot, who wanna step in the flame? This ain't a debate, this a mind game. Facts type lies, get left in shame. One wrong word, get slapped out your name. This ain't TikTok T, this a war zone talk. No script, no filter, no safe walk. Great stats will get scrambled like a glitch. I got fire in my mouth like I came from the pit.
Hey. W's in the chat for the chat. W's in the chat for you guys. I love you guys. I really do. I appreciate each and every one of you. Oh, if I am back later, guys, don't forget to have me remind you guys about a movie that I went and saw last night. It's crazy. The movie was fucking crazy. Oh, and the food yesterday, god damn. I almost got back online yesterday and showed you guys the oxtail, the macaroni and cheese, the rice and grape, all that. Oh my God, it was so good. It was so good. You guys missed out. But anyway, later, don't let me forget to tell you guys about the movie whenever I'm back. So somebody remind me, please and thank you. All right, guys. I'm gonna get out of here. Guys. Thank you for all the gifts, the likes, the taps, the shares. Thank you all for hanging out. I love you all so much. Go raid Dean for me. Santana Ray, show him so much love. I love you all. And as always, peace.